okay. This is okay. Need to check the. Okay, YouTube is also okay too, so looks like that's good. Excellent connection through and through. That's good. That is good. Let me just check some stuff, yeah? That is my... Hang on, I'm just doing a bit of admin before I kick things off, so to speak. I like that it's just like my face on there, so it's just as big and whatnot. Okay. Okay. Okay, alright, let me just do a bit of socials. Okay, that social is done. Okay, there's a reason why I haven't like gone to like the Hamana Bamana. And that mainly is because of the fact that I did boot this up, but then I immediately had to close it because there was like playing stuff at the start. So yeah, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So here we go. Right.
ふと目が覚めた。暗い夜、家の中にみんなはいない。慣れた草と紙の匂い、積み木細工のような空。部屋の隅にはどろりとこびりついたような古い影。死に絶えた音の中で過去を偲ぶ。見ていた夢はもしもの話ばかりだった。例えば、
もし空が曇っていたのなら、もし気づくのが少し早ければ、もし彼が衰えていなければ、もし私が生まれていなかったら、それともしここであなたが目覚めなければ。
夜はますます沈んでいく。きっともう家の中には誰もいない。一人きりは怖いからみんなに会いたくて、一人きりで庭に出た。ほーと吐く息が白くなっていく。庭はとても指先が痛くなるぐらい寒かった。凍る星、 深い闇、さめざめと世界を照らす冷たい光。屋敷の庭はすごく広くて、周りは深い闇に囲まれて、森の木々は黒く大きなカーテンのようだった。まるでどこかの劇場みたい。ざーっと梢の窓が開いて、じきサーカスが始まるのかとワクワクした。遠くでいろんな音がしている。黒い木々のカーテンの奥、森の中でみんなが楽しそうに騒いでる。幕はまだ開かない。
I
我
wish
慢
that
で
they
きずに森の中へと入っていった。すごく暗い。森は深くて冷たい光も届かない。いろいろな音がして、いろいろなものがあるけれど、暗くてよくわからない。途中で誰かとすれ違ったかもよく記憶できないぐらい。自分の名前を呼ばれた気がして、もっと奥へと歩いていった。
I wish they didn't force me to turn my head just to
木々のベールを抜けた後、森の広場にはみんな揃って待っていた。わからない。向こうから見知らぬ人がやってくる。凶器を手にしてやってくる。みんなをそうしたように僕もバラバラにしたいみたい。よくわからない。ぼんやりとその人を見る。なすすべもなく凶器を待つ。けれどいよいよという時に誰かが僕の前にやってきて、僕は子供だからよくわからない。びしゃりと温かいものが顔にかかる。赤い、トマトみたいに赤い水。本当によくわからないけれど、ただ寒くて僕は泣いてしまいそうだった。森は黒くて見たくない。地面は赤くて見たくない。だから空を見上げることにした。目に温かい火色が混ざってくる。眼球の奥に染み込んでくる。だけど全然気にならない。夜空にはただ一人きりの月がある。見知らぬ人は今度こそ僕をバラバラにしようとやってくる。なのに僕はぼんやりといつまでも青い影を見上げている。すごく不思議。どうして今まで気がつかなかったんだろう。ああ、今夜はこんなにも。何も見えない。世界がだんだん消えていく。その中でずっときれいに輝いてる。
Breathing is hard on my end.
ああ、気がつかなかった。今夜はこんなにも月がきれいだ。
Full disclosure, music will kill my eyes. And this is getting there for sure. I gonna need to take time at some point, so because the music has always been lovely to me and whatnot. If there's an option, I definitely need to adjust the audio. Yep. So otherwise we can't visit CL's story, but yeah. I wake up to find myself in a hospital bed. There are curtains that gently sway. No form of options, I believe. So we'll start with the audio. I'll see if I can get it fixed at any point in time. So a chilly breeze enters through an open window. I stiffly squint at the harsh color of the room. Where am I? What day is it? What happened to me? I can't seem to think straight. I try to push myself up, but sharp pain courses through my body. My breath catches in my throat, and I start gasping for air like a fish. Is this what they mean by seeing stars? The moment I place my hand against the hard bed, pain erupts from inside out again. Ugh. Still lying down, and take a deep breath and look over my body. Both my hands are covered in bandages. My left leg's also set in a plaster cast. I feel a tightness around my head, so it must be wrapped up too. A large thick adhesive strip is stuck to my chest like it's hiding something bad. My left arm has a tube poked into it. Some part of me understands that it's an IV. I guess I must have seen all this while I was drifting in and out of sleep. The other room dimly lit and reeking of medicine and chemicals. The array of tubes poking out from under the bandage on my chest. The scary man in the suit who came to see me. My little sister getting scolded by the man when she came to visit. And the doctor as giddy as a child. I remember all of it like it was a dream.
君、もしかして目が覚めてない？
I hear the voice of an unfamiliar woman. I don't have the strength to answer her. She then bursts out of the room, frantically calling for the doctor. Pitter patter goes her steps. She really shouldn't be running in a hospital, even if it is to get me help. Unable to lift my body, I turn my head to look up at the window. I feel a sharp pain in each of my eyes, as if a jagged knife was poking and prodding around inside my brain. The sky outside is so blue, it looks unreal. I find my eyes flinching not from the white, hot glare of the sun, but from the spotless stretch of blue. Days pass. Since waking up, I still haven't been able to move from the bed. My only view of the outside world is the same faraway sky as before. Gently the curtains flap. A dry wind touches my cheek. The stainless swath of blue leaves my eyes feeling woozy. The stainless swath of blue leaves my eyes feeling woozy. Where am I? What day is it? Why am I in a hospital? Gradually the answers come to me, except for one. I keep looking out the window, a thought just out of reach. Something important, a tearful promise I can't remember.
はじめまして、遠野四季君。回復はおめでとう。
Words from a man I've only just met. He offers me a handshake. With his gentle smile and soft-spoken voice, it seems like a kind man. Though I get the feeling that he's someone who could wipe the smile off his face at the flip of a switch. The clean white coat he wears fits him perfectly.
四季君、先生の言っていることがわかるかい？
いえ。僕はどうして病院にいるんですか？
覚えていないんだね。君は道を歩いているとき、自動車の交通事故に巻き込まれたんだ。胸にガラスの破片が刺さってね。 とても助かるような傷じゃなかったんだよ。
The man draped in white smiles as he utters something a doctor probably shouldn't say. It's a miracle that you're alive. The queasy feeling I was holding back threatens to split out after I hear those words.
眠いです。眠っていいですか？
ああ、そうしなさい。今は無理をせず、体を休ませてあげないとね。
The doctor continues smiling. Honestly, it makes me feel uneasy.
先生、一つ聞いていいですか？
No, it's not Isekai.
何かな、四季君。
はい、だけど。
どうして体中に落書きをしているんですか？この部屋もところどころひびだらけで、今にも崩れちゃいそうです。
No tea. For a brief second, the smile vanishes from the doctor's face. Then he rises out of his seat, smile reapplied. His shoes clack against the floor as he disappears behind the curtain.
やはり脳に異常があるようだ。脳外科の芦谷先生に連絡を。それと視神経にも損傷の疑いがあるな。午後は眼科検査に回すように。
The doctor whispers to his nurse, his voice cold and harsh, starkly different from before.
変なの。みんな体に落書きしてる。
The frenzied lines cling to every surface of the hospital. I don't know why, but seeing them is enough to make me feel sick.
なんだろう、これ。
There's even scribbles on my bed. I touch one of them with my finger. Strip. The finger slides in. If I had something thinner, I bet it could go even further. I grab a plastic knife off a nearby tray and trace one of the scribbles with it. With no effort at all, the knife sinks into the handle. Enjoying myself, I glide the knife along the lines in the bed. With a heavy sound, the bed falls neatly in two pieces. I turn to the voice behind me. The shriek belongs to a nurse standing at the door, her face stiff with shock.
どうやってベッドを壊したんだね、四季君。
I noticed the doctor hasn't asked me why I broke it, but how.
その線をなぞったら切れたんだよ。ねえ、どうしてこの病院はひびだらけなの？
いい加減にしないか、四季君。そんな線なんてないんだ。それでどうやってベッドを壊したんだい？
だから線をなぞっただけなんだ。
わかった。この話はまた明日にしよう。
The doctor let out a sigh. He stopped smiling as soon as I mentioned the scribbles. I guess his switch is broken. This hospital is full of broken things. In the end, no one believed me. No matter what it is, I can cut it cleanly by slicing the lines with a knife. I don't even need to put any muscle into it. It's easy, like cutting paper with a pair of scissors. The bed, the chair, the desk, the walls, and even the floor, none of them are any different. And I've never tried it, but I'm positive it will be the same for people too. No one else can see the scribbles. Only I can. I think it's because everything is falling apart. And these are the seams holding them together. Just like my chest, it still hasn't fully healed after the operation, so they've stitched me up where it would otherwise fall apart. That's gotta be it. I mean, how else could a kid like me cut up a whole wall? The nurse screams again. Seeing the holes in the wall, she glares in my direction. Her shriek goes on and on. Luckily, something is up with my ears, so it doesn't sound all that loud to me. The drawn-out noise fills me with dread, like the sound of a burning cicada. Everything is in tatters. The idea of opening my eyes, of living at all, is enough to make me want to disappear. All this time I never knew about the stitches holding the world together, and how easily they can break. No one else sees them. That's why they can go on living just fine. They don't know about the cracks all around us. They don't know how damaged their lives are. But I see it all. It chills me to the bone, holding me in place. Since it happened, everything sounds muffled, like my ears have been stuffed. Only the gash in my chest screams like a siren. But what happened, and when? No matter how hard I try, I can't remember, and scratching my head over it doesn't help either. My brain must have gotten rid of that information to make space for something more important. But the question still leaks out like water from a tap. Oh, I think I get it. The pieces all fit. That's why there are no mirrors. That's why there's no mirror in here. If there was, the very first thing I would do is I'd be laughing while it laid there shattered. Which means they're not the ones in danger of breaking. It's me who's broken. Now it all makes sense. Why 2 weeks have passed and no one believes me? Why 2 weeks have passed and no one's come to see me? Why 2 weeks have passed and I'm the only one living in this stitched together world? I don't want to be in this hospital anymore. I don't want to be surrounded by these scribbles. I have to get somewhere far away where there won't be any people around. I'm not the weird one. It's this place that's weird. It's what I tell myself as I make a run for it. But the wound in my chest stopped me from getting too far. By the time I realized it, I've ended up in the field next to the hospital. I didn't get very far at all. My chest is burning. I squat to the ground miserably, battling a bout of coughs. I can't stay here, but I can't go anywhere else either. There's nowhere to go for someone who can see all of this stitching. Another wave of coughs hit me. No one's around. A sea of grass at the end of summer. It wouldn't be the worst place to disappear. The thought is suddenly interrupted.
君、そんなところでしゃがんでると危ないわよ。
The voice of a woman cuts through my ears, clear as crystal.
絵じゃないでしょ。
絵じゃないでしょ。
ただでさえちっこいんだから草むらでうずくまってると見えないのよね。気をつけなさい。危うく蹴り飛ばされるところだったんだから。
The woman scolds away, her finger pointing at me grumpily. I feel anger creep up inside me. I'm not that small. I'm only the fourth shortest in my class.
蹴り飛ばされるって誰に？
バカね。そんなの決まってるじゃない。ここにいるのは私と君だけなんだから。私以外に誰がいるっていうの？
The woman sure looks proud of herself, crossing her arms like that.
ま、ここで会ったのも何かの縁だし、少し話し相手になってくれない？私は青崎青子って言うんだけど、君は？
She speaks casually, like one friend to another, and offers out her hand. Seeing no reason to refuse, I introduced myself as Shiki Tono, and accepted her offered hand, like I'm being pulled in magnetically. Talking to her is fun. She doesn't shoot down anything I say just because I'm a kid. And she treats me like a person, listening to my every word. I tell her all about myself. I tell her about home, about my long family lineage, how my dad is tough on etiquette and stern all the time. How I have a little sister, Akiha, who's really quiet and follows me everywhere. How I always play with Akiha and her friend and our friends in the garden, which is as big as a forest since we have a huge mansion. How the attic is our secret spot. How I'm bad at word games. How everyone says I'm gonna grow taller. How I used to like the smell of hospitals, but now I don't. How I love the sky when it's clear and blue, but looking at it makes me want to cry. How I'm glad to be alive. How I don't even hate the doctor with a pretend smile. I surprise myself. I keep yapping away feverishly.
おっと、もうこんな時間。悪いわね、シキ。私、ちょっと用事があるから、お話はここまでにしましょう。
The woman starts to leave. The thought of being alone again fills me with sadness.
じゃあまた明日ここで待ってるからね。君もちゃんと病室に帰ってきちんと医者の言いつけを守るんだぞ。あ、
She says it so naturally, as if the idea that we weren't going to meet again tomorrow had even crossed her mind, and leaves.
また明日。
We'll get to talk again tomorrow just like we did today. I'm so happy. It's the first time I felt something so strongly since waking up from the accident. Going to the grassy field in the afternoon has become a regular thing. The lady will get angry whenever I call her Aoko. She seems to hate her own name. Unsure what to call her at first, I eventually settled on Master. Master always listens to whatever I have to say and solves each and every one of my problems. Since the accident, I've hated talking to people, but thanks to her, I'm slowly becoming my old self again. Being here on the grassy field is the only time my worries slip away, and I feel like the old me. I don't know who she really is, but I get the sense she could actually be a teacher at some school. Not that it's any of my business. Being around her is fun. That's all that matters.
ねえ先生、僕こんなことができるよ。
I want to surprise her. I pull out a knife I took from the hospital and I cut the tree standing in the field. Tracing the lines, I slice from the center of the tree to the bark.
すごいでしょ。落書きが見えてるところならどこだって簡単に切れるんだよ。こんなの他の誰にもできないよね。
She's speechless. I get into a groove and decide to sink my knife into a horizontal line across the base of the tree. She rushes towards me and I feel the palm of her hand slap my cheek.
先生。やめなさい。君は今とても軽率なことをしたわ。
She stares at me seriously. It's an unforgiving look, the determined gaze of someone about to punish an evildoer. How could I be so stupid? I was having so much fun. I completely forgot. These scribbles shouldn't exist, which means someone like me who can see them shouldn't exist either. A feeling of regret seeps into my chest like blood. I wish I could crawl up into a ball and die. The tree was the last reminder that this field was once a forest. And desperate to show off, I went and destroyed it for no reason at all.
ごめんなさい。
I feel tears trickle down my face. I know boys shouldn't cry, but I can't help it.
四季。
I hear my name called softly. Suddenly, even with the knife still in my hand, she hugs me tight.
謝る必要はないわ。うん。まあ確かに四季は怒られるようなことをしたけど、それは決してあなただけが悪いってわけじゃないんだから。
悪いのは僕だけじゃない。
ええ。でもね四季、それとは別のところで今誰かが君を叱っておかないと取り返しのつかないことになる。だから私はあなたを一人の人間として見た。同じ立場の人間として意見して怒って本気で叩いた。力加減を間違えていたら私も四季を殺していたかもってくらい本気で。
Her words truly frightened me. Oh. It seems like I can press B to actually get the picture behind. Nice. That's gonna come in handy. It isn't that I'm afraid of killing her. Isn't that I'm afraid of her killing me, but that I had pushed her to almost doing so. The thought of it makes my heart sink.
泣かないで四季。私も謝らないから。
Okay, I'm finding buttons. Okay, I can do audio now, so. Let me bring that down. Hang on. Bring it down to 20. I think that's a good number. I can bump this back up again. Play our voices. Enter voices on the fancy text? No. We probably will not do that. We don't want them too loud, so we'll bring them down a little bit more. Okay, controls, all that is there. No auto mode because we're gonna cycle through ourselves. Non-display instantly, no, we want that as well. Oh, nice. They also have it in Japanese and also in simplified and traditional Chinese. Phenomenal. View the flowchart. Can I use the flowchart yet? Of course not. Okay. Fix the audio. So here we go. Don't cry, Shiki, and don't worry about apology. I won't either.
あなたはそれだけのことをしたんだって覚えていてほしいから。その代わり、シキは私のことを嫌ってもいいわ。先生のこと嫌いじゃないよ。そう。本当によかった。私が君に出会ったのはこのためだったみたい。
Just like that, as if to melt away my feeling regret, she quietly asked me about the scribbles I keep seeing. When I started telling her about the lines, I feel her hug me tighter.
シキ、君が見ているものは現実のものよ。決して見えてはいけないものだとしても、他の人間にとってはありえないことだとしても、その線は幻じゃない。あなただけにある現実。
そっか。じゃあやっぱりおかしいのは僕だけなんだね。
ええ、あなたはおかしい。そこはごまかしようがない。
I fight back the tears. What she said stings 1,000 times more than when the doctor doubted me. But it's not like I didn't see this coming. From the very start, from the moment I woke up, I've known the truth. I shouldn't even be alive.
謝らないで。その異常はおかしいだけで説明がつかないものじゃない。道理が通っているものなら人間は何にだって向かっていける。これ私の経験則ね。どんなに馬鹿げたデタラメがやってきても知恵と勇気で乗りこなすのが私たち人間よ。
My first lesson, she calls it, with a hint of embarrassment. Having a strange condition isn't a problem itself. The problem is how I choose to deal with it.
じゃあこの落書きも説明できる？
もちろん。ものにはね、壊れやすい箇所というものがある。いつか壊れる私たちは壊れるがゆえに完全じゃない。君の目はそういったものの末路。言い換えれば未来を見てしまっているんでしょう。
未来を見てるの？そう
よ。今はそれ以上は知らなくていい。
もし君がそういう流れに沿ってしまう時が来るなら、必然としてそれなりの理屈を知ることになるでしょう。
先生、何のことだかよくわからない。
ええ、分かっちゃダメ。今大事なのは一つだけ。その線は決していたずらに切ってはいけない。君の目は物の命を軽くしすぎてしまうから。
うん、先生が言うならしない。それになんだか胸が痛いんだ。ごめんね先生、もう二度とあんなことはしないから。
Just to make sure that everything is up and running and whatnot. So. Yeah. Alright. Okay.
よかった。シキ、今の気持ちを絶対に忘れないで。そうしていれば君は必ず幸せになれるんだから。
She uncalls her arms, freeing me from my embrace. The sensation, cold and yet warm, fades away.
でも先生、この落書きが見えてると不安なんだ。だってこの線を引けば切れちゃうんでしょ。なら僕の周りはいつバラバラになってもおかしくないじゃないか。
その問題は私が何とかするわ。どうやらそれが私がここに来た理由のようだし。
She heaves a long sigh and then smiles at me.
シキ、明日君にとっておきのプレゼントを。私が君を以前の生活に戻してあげる。
The next day, on the 7th day since I first met Master, she comes to the field hauling a huge trunk with one hand.
はい、これをかけていればもう妙な落書きは見えなくなるはず。
She hands me an ordinary pair of glasses.
僕、目は悪くないよ。
いいからかけなさい。度は入ってないから。
I do as she says and put them on. At the moment I do,
ああ、すごいすごいよ先生。落書きがちっとも見えない。
当たり前よ。わざわざ姉貴のところの魔眼殺しを奪ってまで作った青崎青子渾身の一品なんだから。粗末に扱ったらただじゃおかないからね、シキ。
うん、大事にする。けど先生ってすごいね。あれだけ嫌だった線がみんな消えちゃって、なんだか魔法みたいだこれ。
それも当然だって私魔法使いだもん。
a smug grin stretches across her face as she drops her trunk on the ground.
でもねシキ、その線は消えたわけじゃないわ。ただ見えなくしているだけ。そのメガネを外せば線はまた見えてしまう。
見えないだけ？
ええ、そればっかりはもう直しようがないことよ。君はその目となんとか折り合いをつけて生きていくしかないの。
やだ、こんな怖い目いらない。またあの線を切っちゃったら先生との約束が守れなくなる。
ああ、もう二度と線を切らないっていうあれか。バカね、あんな約束気軽に破っていいわよ。
そうなの？だってすごくいけないことだって言ったじゃないか。
ええ、いけないことよ。けどその目は誰にも頼らない君個人の力なんだもの。だからそれを使おうとするのは君の自由。その目があることについて君以外の他の誰も君を責めることはできない。問われることがあるとしたら
あなたがその力で何をしたかということだけよ、シキ。
僕が何をするか。
She stares into my eyes as if trying to peer inside.
そういうこと。やっぱりいい目だ。正直言うとね、初めて君と会った時、めんどくさいのにぶつかっちゃったなーって思ったんだ。だって君、見た感じいろいろなくしてきたみたいだから。でも問題なんてなかった。君はちゃんと生きている。なら人生かけて取り返していきなさい。
Even with a whole lifetime, I could never find the words to describe the light I felt in my chest, or the rush of joy that came with it. You belong here. She reaffirms my reason for being, more forcefully than anyone.
シキ、君は個人が保有する能力の中でもひどく得意な能力を持ってしまった。けどそれが君にあるということは何かしらの意味があるということなの。神様は何の意味もなく力を分けない。君の未来には必要になる時があるから、その直視の目があるとも言える。それは残酷なことだろうけど、だからこそ忘れないで。君はとてもまっすぐな心をしている。今の君がある限り、その目は決して間違った結果は生まないでしょう。成人になれなんてことは言わない。君は君が正しいと思う大人になればいい。いけないということを素直に受け止められて、ごめんなさいと言える君なら、10年後にはきっと素敵な男の子になってるわ。
She stands and reaches for her trunk.
あ、でもよっぽどのことがない限りメガネは外しちゃダメだからね。特別な力は特別な力を呼ぶものだし。はい、私からの忠告その2、反則の出しどころ、勝負どころをよく考える。そうならないことを祈っているけど、どうしても自分の手には負えないと判断した時だけメガネを外して、よく考えて力を行使なさい。その力自体は決して悪いものじゃない。結果をいいものにするか悪いものにするかはあくまで君の判断次第なんだから。
She picks up the trunk, and without her even saying a word, I know it's time for us to say our goodbyes.
無理だよ先生。僕だけじゃいいことになんてできない。本当は先生に会うまで怖くてたまらなかった。けど先生がいてくれたから僕は僕に戻れたんだ。ダメなんだ。先生がいなくちゃこんなメガネがあったってダメに決まってるじゃないか。
シキ、心にもないことは言わないこと。自分自身も騙せないような嘘は聞いている方を不快にさせるわ。
Master's displeasure is readily apparent in her expression. She then flicks my forehead.
自分でも分かっているんでしょ。もう大丈夫だって。ならそんなつまらないことを言ってせっかく掴んだ自分を捨ててはいけないわ。それじゃあお別れね。バイ、シキ。どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
She's really leaving. I'm sad, but as a friend, I want to see her off right.
さよなら先生。
よし、上出来上出来。その息でいつまでも元気でね。最後の教訓。ピンチの時はまず落ち着いて、その後によく考えること。 大丈夫。君なら一人でもちゃんとやっていけるから。
She smiles fondly. A gust of wind sweeps through, sending a ripple across the sea of grass. She's gone.
バイバイ先生。
As I say the words, the realization I'll never see her again sinks in. Left with me are a treasure trove of advice and a strange pair of glasses. In just 7 days, I feel like I've learned the most important thing of all. As I stand there aimlessly, tears start welling up. I'm such an idiot. All I said was goodbye. Not once did I say thank you. I'm discharged from the hospital soon after. I won't be going back to the Tono household. Instead, I'm to be taken in by another family. My body has recovered, but there's still lasting symptoms. To the Tonos, that means I'm defective. I'm no longer needed. But I don't care. Shiki Tono is going to be fine on his own. A new life and a new family are waiting for me. I leave behind the hospital room where I spent my 10th summer. The curtains by my window sway in the breeze, just like always. I take in one last glimpse of the blue sky. As I do, a dry breeze washes over me, spelling the end of summer. It feels heavy. Homecoming. The tracks take a sudden dive, leaving the surface behind. Casting an artificial light across the tunnel walls, the train makes its way through the darkness. The car creaks around me. Man-made lights pass by at regular intervals. The vibration through the seat lulls me into reflection on this short little journey. It's early, 6:33 a.m. 30 minutes have come and gone since I've gotten on this train. That's how long it's been since I said goodbye to the people who took care of me all this time. How I reacted to this probably says a lot about me as a person. I'm sure some people might feel sad and wish they could have stayed longer. Others will accept it without a second thought. I wonder which side I fall on. I realize after a moment that I don't really feel either. I'm the only one sitting on this 8-seater bench. The seats in front of me are empty. There's only a couple of other people on the train, including a sleepy man in a suit on the bench next to mine and a woman standing in front of the door. It may be early, but it feels particularly empty today. The noise from outside is strangely muted, but maybe I'm just lost in thought. The train vaguely reminds me of a spaceship traveling through the darkness of outer space. No sound can reach it. No sound can reach it out here. The only things. I realized something. The only things here are my stupid daydreams, the sound of my heart beating, and my memories from an hour ago. It came like a bolt from the blue. Makihisa Tono has died. Shiki Tono is to return to the Tono household immediately. The first contact I had from my father in 7 years, and that is how it goes. The Tono family's word is final. I'm still a student, and they pay for all my expenses. But choosing to return to the mansion today instead of yesterday was my one act of defiance. I just wanted to stay a little longer at the home where I spent so much of my life. It was all I could do for the family that took me in and treated me like their own. Thank you for breakfast, it was delicious. I finish my meal and leave the table before the sun even rises. After taking one final glance at my room, I clap my hands together in thanks. It's not much for all the time I've stayed here, but I don't want to leave anything unsaid. I led a happy life here. That's what I want to carry away with me. Keiko saw me off as I left the Arima household. I asked to leave quietly without waking the others. Thank you for everything. Give my regards to Dad and Miyako for me. 7 years, the woman who has acted as my mother in that time looked terribly sad. I never once thought I'd see her like this. Life may be hard at the Tono mansion, but you'll be okay, understand? Don't overdo it. Make sure to look after your health first and foremost. I take her word of encouragement to heart. My time spent with them was peaceful. I just hope I didn't cause the Arimas too much trouble during my time with them. It's been 7 years. I've had plenty of time to recover. I'm a lot steadier than I look, you know. Yes, you're right. The Tonos are quite the unusual family, but you're not one to let that bother you. You've always been a strong boy. She smiles through her sadness and I smile back. I'm happy that she still considers me to be her child. I think you're gonna give me a little too much credit. Well, I should get going. Take care, Mom. Goodbye, Shiki. Thank you. Take care. Keiko knows that I won't be coming back. She sends me off with tears in the corner of her eyes. That was just 40 minutes ago. That moment marked the end of my previous life, and the start to my new one. The view outside shifts slowly. We must have crossed the river that separates the suburban Yashirogi and arrived in the city of Soya. The train begins its return climb to the surface. I can feel the gentle incline. Bright lights shine through, piercing my eyes, which had grown accustomed to the artificial dimness of the suburb. Used to be Misaki Town, now it's Soya. The train sweeps towards the city. The majority of its inhabitants are still asleep. Outside, the air is chilly. A fall morning in the month of October, the heat of summer is a little more than a faint memory now. I've watched this same view nearly every day for a year and a half now, but this is the last time I'll be taking this train to school. Memories of the past 7 years rush by like the scenery outside the window. I survived the terrible injury that would have killed most 10-year-olds. I met the woman that would become my master, my mentor in life. I went to live with the Arima family, and now I'm halfway through my second year. The thing Master feared might have happened when we parted never came to pass. And as long as I have these glasses on, I don't have to worry about seeing those lines again. And so Shikitono has led an ordinary, though at times difficult life. That all changes today. There's nothing major like feeling I don't belong or anything like that. I just don't feel right going back to the way things were before. Having lived a normal life these past few years, the Tono family's way of doing things just seems like a pain, or at least more trouble than it's worth.
だいたい学校より広い洋館とか想像つかないんですけど。
I'm surprised I was able to handle it when I was a child. The thought of going back to that old-fashioned way of life is daunting to say the least. The train stops at a large station for a few minutes. The local lines I'm taking has to wait for the express to pass. The platform is empty. Usually I would expect to see more morning commuters in suits on their way to work, but it's particularly quiet today. The express passes by on the neighboring rails. Thank you for your patience. The next stop is... An announcement I heard hundreds of times played. The door closes with a hiss of air. I see that there are 4 stations left to Soya Station, the station where my school... Okay, need to adjust that. Do I have to adjust everybody? I guess that's fine. I guess that's fine.
危うく首が飛ぶところでした。
A girl wearing my school's uniform slips through the automatic doors as they close. Her ribbon is green, so she must be a 3rd year. I feel like I've seen her before. The bag she's holding in her hands must contain things for her club activities. Our eyes meet for a moment. The girl continues to stare at me. Just when I noticed that she walked closer.
おはようございます。朝からお騒がせしてごめんなさい。
あ、いえ、こっちこそすいません。ジロジロ見ちゃって。
The way she smiles at me, the way she smiles has me apologizing almost by reflex.
いえいえ、目立つようなことをした私に非があるんです。先輩として恥ずかしいところを見せてしまいました。でも朝は弱いって話、本当なんですね。
The girl laughs slightly. I'm distracted by her laughter and
ほら、私ですよ。先週会ったばっかりなのにもう忘れちゃったんですか？
あれ、シエル先輩。
in an instant my memory is jolted awake. I knew she felt familiar. I've crossed paths with her a number of times. And now that I think about it, there's probably not a person in the whole world who doesn't know CL. Sawyer High's most revered third year. Happy to offer advice to any distraught first year. Eager to solve the woes of any troubled second year. And quick to save underclassmen from the ire of the third years. Some students call her the true student council president, considering most people rely on her over the teachers or our actual student council. She's even helped me with something just last week. Man, how out of it am I? CL is right about how I hate mornings, but thinking about returning home for the first time in 7 years must be killing my brain cells. Oh, here we go. So this is the first choice. I think of something to ask. A question pops into my mind. Why is she on the train so early?
でもどうしたんですか？先輩、部活やってませんよね。こんな時間に登校なんて。
いえ、何を隠そう、ボランティア活動の帰りなんです。ほら、生徒会公募で公園のゴミ拾いがあったでしょ。あれをちゃちゃっと先ほどまで。
Ah, now it all makes sense. CL is always running around helping out somebody or another.
早朝から30分だけの奉仕活動だったんですけどね。他の皆さんは一旦帰宅したんですが、私は面倒なのでこのまま登校してしまおうかと。
Her bag clatters. I had assumed it was full of equipment, but it must be cleaning stuff.
おや、中身見たいんですか？先輩の持ち物をチェックするなんておとなしそうに見えて大胆ですね。
She draws closer and looks into my eyes. Her face is so close to mine that I can smell her. Flustered, I can't figure out where to look.
いえ、そういうわけじゃなくてですね。もし折りたたみ式のほうきとか熊手とかなら珍しいなと。
ほうほう、私の万能高枝切りばさみも見たいと。よろしい。それでしたら放課後いつもの茶道部に来てください。あなたなら大歓迎です。
Faced with such a heartfelt smile, I ended up blushing. I'd like to say something clever or witty, but all I can manage is a simple yes.
約束ですよ。ここだけの話、部費で購入したお茶受けが余ってしまいまして、日持ちするものではないので元気な男の子の協力が不可欠なんです。
そうですか。じゃあ予定が合えばぜひ。食べ物に釣られていくとか猫かって話ですけど。
Ciel's warm smile made me feel comfortable enough to crack a joke. She adjusts the green ribbon around her neck.
どちらかというとワンちゃんではないでしょうか。というか猫科はよくありません。最後まで頼りになるのは律儀で頭のいい犬科です。
For reasons I don't quite understand, she seems to feel strongly about this. As we're both headed to the same place, we continued to chat. We talked about last week's midterms. We wondered why the sports festival has been reduced to a one-day event. We complained about the cafeteria always serving the same things. After getting into a heated discussion about the plan to restrict phones at school, we tie each other out, sigh in unison, and change the subject. We laugh as we trade opinions on the movies we've seen recently. 15 minutes go by in a flash. It's easy talking with her. She is, after all, incredibly popular amongst everyone. I don't want this to end, but we only have a few minutes left before we get to Soya Station. I try to bring out something else to talk about, but
ちょっとうるさいんですけど。
we've forgotten where we are. Sia and I bow our heads in apology.
怒られちゃいましたね。
ごめんなさい。私の笑い声が大きかったんです。きっと。
With that, our conversation comes to a halt. The friendly cheer that filled the air just moments ago had vanished. It's quickly replaced by that familiar city silence, that cold space in which everyone is a stranger. The train pulls into Soya Station. It's just before 7 AM. I left for school a bit earlier today, so the town hasn't quite woken up yet. It's quiet right now, but in an hour it'll be bustling with traffic and commuters.
今朝も交通量が少なめですね。最近街の目覚めが遅い気がします。皆さん夜更かしなんでしょうかね。
Hang on, I just want to check the voice. It's a little funny that I have to adjust everybody over time, so but it's fine. As CL shares this odd observation, I notice how heavy a bag looks.
荷物学校まで持って行きましょうか。
ああ、いえいえ、お気になさらず。私は寄っていくところがありますので、ここでお別れですね。
She smiles a goodbye and waves as she runs off. Her lithe legs, lithe? Lithe? Hang on, huh? Sorry. Yeah, Lith. How do you pronounce that? Life. Audio, please go away. Life. Yeah, life. Okay. Her lithe legs carry her so swiftly I almost expected a comical whoosh. Not to be outdone, I felt an urge to start running too, but there's really no reason for me to hurry. I probably shouldn't be running anyway, considering my condition. I start walking towards school at my usual pace. But just as I set off, the girl from before emerges from the ticket gates. She passes by briskly, slowing to only share a few choice words.
見かけ通り軽薄なんですね。うんざりしました。
And with that, she stalks away. I'm struck dumb by the rudeness. It seems I've made an enemy. I should be careful the next time I have a conversation on a train. I guess I said something that upset her. Even so,
いや、最近の中学生はおっかないな。
it was a regular hit and run scolding. I made my way to school, my steps heavier than usual. It's just about 7 when the main entrance to the school comes into view. Students hurry through the gate to go to their club activities. They must be trying to make the most of their time before homeroom starts at 8. Soya Municipal High School, an old school celebrating 40 years since its founding. Our college admission rate isn't bad, our clubs do fine, and the rules aren't particularly strict. It's as normal a school as you can find. The only complaint male students have is that their uniforms are too old-fashioned, but the school doesn't pay much attention to it. As for the girls, their uniforms were changed 3 years ago. Apparently the school was worried that keeping the older sailor uniforms would lead to a drop in enrollment. Something feels out of place on my usual walk to the school. Things feel busier than usual. Pale-faced teachers rush to the faculty office. A black car I've never seen before is parked in the parking lot. There's a chill in the air. Images flash through my mind. A sparsely attended funeral, the cold black of a hearse. I sigh at my own dark thoughts. Trying to shake off the uneasy feeling growing inside me, I head for the classroom. There's no one else here yet. Need to adjust this. Oh, okay. So they only adjust when the character comes into play. Okay. I guess. There's no one else here. I sit in my chair and kill time until homeroom begins. More people begin to fill the room as I get in some studying.
おはよう。本日の朝練無事終了のお知らせ。
Was that loud? It's fine.
あれ？一番乗りは私らじゃないんだ。遠野早くない？
ああ、あれか、ボランティア。でも今日だったっけ？やっば、俺サボったかも。
The students of 2C get along well compared to the other classes. We're pretty casual with each other before taking our seats. I catch up with classmates who have just ended their club activities. We go through your typical laundry list of things, from last night's ancient news to stuff that's happened just minutes ago in school. We're just talking to passing the time, but it's an important morning ritual of ours. A warm-up exercise to start off the day. We only tire ourselves out if we try to have real conversations about everything, especially in this age of information. The mood in the classroom changes suddenly. Lively chatter dies down to a whisper.
なら道塞いでんじゃねえよザコども。朝っぱらから群がりやがって通行の邪魔だろうが。
Yep. So it comes in when they actually come in. So we have to manually go in here and adjust everybody. There's no universal one, which I think is a little bullshit. But oh well. Alright. Crude remarks you wouldn't expect to hear amongst this otherwise harmonious bunch cut through the tranquility. I don't even need to turn around to know who it is. Only one person could do this to a room.
Cheese! Good morning, メガネくん。今朝も新規臭い顔しやがって。まったくクソみたいな野郎ですね。
Yep, only him, a delinquent with little respect for the sanctity of our school.
おーい、挨拶どうした？人が珍しく朝から来てやってんのに、おはようの言葉もなしですか？むしろ朝からいてくれてありがとうぐらいの気持ちはないのですか？
ないよ。朝から濃い顔見てげんなりしてるだけ。そもそもありがとうとかないし、お前のために学校に来てるわけじゃないし。
何？バカ言うなよ。俺は遠野のために学校に来てるんだぞ。そんなの不公平じゃんか。
I'm at a loss for words. Sometimes I wonder why we're even friends. He has a dyed head of orange hair and piercings in his ears. Sporting a perpetual scowl that's practically begging for a fight, he seems to follow the delinquent code dress to a T. Though his brand of counterculture may be a little out of style, he still looks the part of a good punk. His name, Arihiko Inui.
まあいいか。朝から教室に来るのはいいことだ。
Whatever, man. It's good to see you in class.
おはよう、アリヒコ。ついに出席日数を気にしだしたか？
いや、そこは別に気にしてない。まだまだ余裕はありますよ。今日は家に姉貴がいるんでサボれなくなっただけ。つ つうか朝まで鉄マンしてたんでいい加減体力の限界だ。
そうか、すまない。挨拶をやり直させてくれ。おやすみ、クズ彦。机に急げ、さっさと寝ろ。
何その冷めた反応。それが中学からのライバルに対する態度ですか？もっとこう熱い対応してくれませんかね。
なんで俺とお前がライバルなんだ。無軌道に行きたいんなら街で同行の死を見つけてろよ。あんまり構わないでくれ。
He does still owe me a little bit money. He does still owe me a bunch of money I lent him back in middle school, which makes him more of a moocher than a rival.
どうしてかな。遠野ってば俺にだけ冷たいよな。他の奴らには聖人君子みたいなやつなのに不公平じゃね？
なんだ、分かってるじゃないか。世の中公平なことってあんまりないだろ。
そりゃそうだけどよ。やっぱお前俺には特に冷たくね？
Arihiko lets out an exaggerated sigh. I don't mean to treat him any certain way. Everything just naturally ended up this way after years of, I guess, unfiltered treatment. We may have completely different interests and tastes, but we seem to operate on similar wavelengths.
まあ、家から逃げてきたはいいとして。普段から夜型のお前が朝から出席するなんて、どんな風の吹き回しだ？ちょっと、いや、かなり普通じゃないぞ。
まあな、俺だってそう思う。たまたま目が覚めたからって来るもんじゃねえよな、学校ってやつは。ぶっちゃけもう帰りて。ああ、やっぱ学生には勉強する意志とか必要なんですかね。
He's not wrong, but when he says it like that, it almost sounds like he wants an award just for making the trip to school.
そのあたりの議論は今度、暇な時に鏡に向けてやってくれ。俺が聞きたいのは、なんで街に行かないかってこと。カラオケでも漫画喫茶でも時間潰すならそっちのがいいんじゃない？
そりゃあれだよ、最近は何かと物騒だからですよ。荒ごとこなすのもただじゃねえし、あっちには体力ある時しか顔出したくねえわけ。
物騒？
おう、遠野だって知ってんだろ、例のあれ。派手に出回ってる通り魔事件の話だよ。駅前のセンター街、夜になると警官も巡回しているしな。
そっか、そんな話もあったっけ。
Hearing Akihiko talk about it reminds me. The goings on. That's a weird term. The goings on in Soya hadn't bothered me while I was living several stations away with the Arima family. It was all over the news. I seem to remember.
なんだっけ、すごく低俗な売り文句だったけど。深夜の通り魔事件だっけ。
連続猟奇殺人事件な。被害者は大抵若い女で、2日前に発見された仏さんで8人目。かつ全員の喉元にバツの字の傷跡があるとかないとか。
Weird. My mind can't even picture something like that.
違うよ、乾くん。殺されちゃった人はみんな体内の血液が著しく失われているだよ。
Yumizuka pokes her head out and corrects us, likely drawn by how loud we are. So now that Yumizuka is... Don't want to put her all the way down. Show her some respect. She's getting her own story arc in in Red Garden.
まあそうだったそうだった。現代の吸血鬼かっていう見出しだったもんな、あれ。サンキュー、ユミズカ。おはようさん。うん、
乾くんもおはよう。ついでに言うと外傷には個人差があって、傷が全くない場合と損傷の激しいタイプに分かれてるだったかな。
詳しいんだね、弓塚さん。
そんなことないよ。この街で起きている事件なんだもん。ニュースを見てれば嫌でも覚えちゃうことだと思う。
とま そういうことだよ遠野。いくら俺でもな、夜中に殺人犯が出歩いているうちは夜遊びなんざしねっての。最近は真面目に家の中で夜更かししてるわけ。
なんだ、そんな理由だったのか。まともすぎて逆に意外だ。殺人犯に怯えて家にこもるなんてお前らしくもない。
らしくないじゃねえよ。普通は殺人犯に怯えるだろう。こっちはやる気がねえのに、あっちだけやる気満々とか不意打ちにも程がある。絶対にごめんだね。俺はまだ人生棒に振りたくねえ。
ああ、そっか。そうだよな。狙われたらとことんまで付き合うしかないってことだもんな。
お前ね、そこは逃げるって選択肢はねえの？なんでとことんまで付き合うんだよ。
だって逃げられないんじゃないのか、そういう場合って。
遠野に振った俺がアホだった。実際の話、俺も殺人犯は気にしてねえ。ああいうのはほら天才だろ。出会っちまう方に運がない。俺が街に出ないのはもっと現実的な理由でさ、最近北口駅前で新手のバカどもが湧いてんだよ。正直顔も見たくねえ。
The north exit, located on the opposite side of the station from the business district, is downtown Soya, a bustling hub that never sleeps. Arihiko lives on the north side of the station himself. Those fools must be pretty bad if he's going to such lengths to avoid them.
どうのも聞いたことねえか？度胸試しのようなもの。秘密の入り口から地下道に入って奥までつければ大金が手に入るってやつ。
それなら私も聞いたことあるけど、それってただの階段じゃなかった？
ああ、結構昔からある都市伝説だったらしい。それを儲け話っぽく仕立てて利用してるバカどもがいるんだよ。どっから流れてきた新参者か知んねえが、おかげで北口の空気の悪さはシャレにならねえ。ちょっとしたことで殴り合いが始まるからな。俺基本的に痛いの嫌だし、あんだけ派手にやってればポリも動くだろうし、連中が捕まるのでしばらく自重して家にこもってんのよ。
An urban legend on the north side of the station. I guess I haven't heard of it since I didn't live nearby. Though I suppose it'd be my problem too, starting today.
なんだよ、反応薄いな。さてはあれか？朝から貧血でぶっ倒れたのか？
いや、今朝はまだ大丈夫。心配してくれるのはありがたいんだけどね。そう四六時中貧血を起こしてたら体が持たないよ。
ああ、そりゃもっともだ。遠野が大丈夫だって言うんならまあ大丈夫なんだろうよ。
ほら、授業が始まるぞ。早く席に戻って寝ろ。
はいよ。と、そうそう、今日の昼飯な、食堂でするからな。驚きの特別ゲストをお呼びしているので楽しみにしてやがれ。
Arihiko laughs suspiciously as he saunters back to his seat.
それじゃあね、遠野くん。
あ、うん。弓塚さんも付き合わせて悪かったね。
She walks back to her desk, her footsteps light as a feather. Five minutes after the bell for homeroom, and our teacher still hasn't appeared. Just as homeroom is about to end, the teacher next door drops by to tell us that Miss Toyama will be coming today.
やったー、今日の数学自習じゃん。
Someone sounds like they just won the lottery. Miss Toyama is our math teacher. With her absent, we'll have free study instead. Once you finish the worksheet you're given, you're free to spend the rest of the time however you want. Some use the time to study, but others just kill time. I start on my worksheet. I actually have no problem with studying. I quit going to after-school lessons as a child, but that was after I was told getting into a good school would be possible for someone with my condition. Whether you choose to go to college or straight into the workforce, knowledge is never a bad thing to have. I raise my head after solving a few problems and look over the students near the hallway. I can only hear bits and pieces of the conversation, sitting as far away from them as I
やっ
am.
ぱり信じられない。
朝練の時、先生たちが血相を変えて職員室に。
まだ噂だから。
でもそんな簡単に。
どいよ。なんでそんなことに。
Something suddenly feels wrong. I think knitting my eyebrows.
昨日の事件。
校長室に刑事っぽい二人組が。
I brace myself for what's coming. As familiar as I am with this feeling, I find myself not wanting to accept it. I hold my breath in anticipation for the words to come.
だからさ、遠山。昨日死んだらしいよ。
Yes, Kazu, waifu game. Oh, I'm also streaming on YouTube as well, so yeah. I close my eyes trying to hold back a headache. The morning passes without the rumor about Miss Toyama spreading much further. The classroom is a mess now that it's lunch. Some go to the cafeteria, others to the courtyard, while others still stay in the room and open their lunches at their desk. What should I do for lunch? Well, Arihiko says that he's got a special guest there whatsoever, so let's go find Arihiko in the cafeteria. Arihiko disappears after 4th period. He must be saving seats in the cafeteria. I never promised Arihiko I go to the cafeteria with him, but there's no real reason to ditch him either. I might as well spend lunch there today. The cafeteria looks almost full. The line is so long it'll probably take 10 minutes just to get your order taken. I gaze at the students waiting with their order receipts in hand as I make my way to the table.
それで有彦、特別ゲストって誰？
それがまだおいでになさらぬ。食堂で待ち合わせだったんだが、ちょっと待っててくれ。様子を見てくる。
Arihiko hurries out of the cafeteria, leaving his curry udon behind. I've ordered chikara udon for myself. I hope he gets back before my noodles get soggy.
ダメだ。先輩どっか行っちまったらしい。
ゲストって3年生だったのか？
おお、面白い先輩だな。ここ数日アタックしてようやくランチご一緒ツアーまで取り付けたんだよ。今日は他に約束ができたとかで学校中を走り回ってるらしい。
忙しい人みたいだね。どうも。
忙しいっていうか、全自動マッサージ機みたいな人だ。
Arihiko breaks apart his disposable chopsticks, looking dejected.
ま、今回は仕方ねえわな。じゃ、いただきますと。
はい、いただきます。
We both dig into our udon. A lot of irons in a fire. What a strange way to describe someone. Suffice to say that my curiosity has been piqued. But I'll ask him more about that later.
で、本当のところどうなんだよ。
だって何が？
今日お前が朝から教室にいた理由。いちこさんが家にいるって嘘だろ。あの人、今昼間の仕事についてるじゃんか。
Ask Arihiko as I slurp my chikara noodle. Ichiko is Arihiko's older sister who works full time. She's a bit of a mystery, but she's always taking good care of us.
ああ、そっか。バレるか。まあ、殿、今日から実家に戻るのか？
そうだけど、その話したっけ？
してねえよ。俺は姉貴から聞いただけ。それでだな。遠野がブルー入ってないかちょっと確認したくなってな。
そうか。それで成果は？
早起きするほど面白い見せ物じゃなかったぜ。がっかりですよ、がっかり。
ご期待に添えず申し訳ない。ほんと有彦は暇人だな。
暇人だからゴシップ好きなんですよ。遠野はさ、小学生の自分からよそに預けられてたんだろ。どんな理由かは知らないが、それから7年も経つんだ。なんで今になって感動してた息子を呼び戻すんだよ、お前さんの父親は。
感動されていたわけじゃない。なんとなく屋敷から出るように言われただけだ。
遠野君、君ね、 なんとなくで子供を家から追い出す過程があったら、それは悲劇じゃなくて笑い話ですよ。ただし、ほら一歩手前、寒すぎて笑えねえけどな。
Arihiko laughs in an exaggerated manner. The way Arihiko never takes anything seriously is one of his best qualities. The truth is, my father and I had been on bad terms long before the car accident and hospitalization. The Tono family is a distinguished household dating back centuries, with customs very different to those of a regular family. My childhood memories are of an enormous old house and the oppressive, antiquated practices of the family within. The Tono family is wealthy, with shares in a wide variety of companies. My father, Makihisa Tono, wasn't much of a businessman, but the assets he inherited from my grandfather were more than enough to help his businesses make a fortune. The mansion from another era, a high-class lifestyle that valued history and decorum. Any child would have found life in that mansion bearably dull. So when I was told to go live with the Arimas, I had no qualms about leaving my real family behind. I think it was the best outcome I could have asked for. I got along well with the Arimas. Keiko and Fumiomi treated me no differently than if I had been their child by birth. I always wanted to be part of a normal family, and living with the Arimas gave me the opportunity. I don't have any regrets there. With one exception, my sister Akiha. She was a year younger than me, and I left her behind at the Tono Manor. I wonder if Akiha resents me. I mean, why wouldn't she? I left her in that giant lonesome house with no one for company but that pig-headed old man. It's not hard to imagine what Akiha thinks of me, of the brother who ran away from it all.
そうだな。確かになんとなくで家から追い出されたらそりゃ笑うしかない。
だろう。おまけに二度と敷居はまたぐなっていう決め台詞付きだ。世間様ではそういうのを感動って言うんだ。今まで聞かなかったけどな。お前、なんで感動されたんだ？
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for it myself. I think in the end it may have just been a lot of unfortunate coincidences. I was unlucky.
ま、話したくないならいい。
Arihiko picks up his bowl with both hands and drinks down the broth. Lunch always feels so short. I follow Akiho's example and quickly down the rest of my food. School comes to an end for the day. I look out over the schoolyard from my seat, unable to will myself back to the mansion. The classroom, dyed in red-orange by the sunset, looks like a watercolor painting. It makes my eyes throb a little. There's something about vermilion that's unsettling. They misspelled vermilion, by the way. It should be double L, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. Anytime that I could improve my English, I would want to. Oh no, it's actually spelled correctly. Vermilion is with one L. Okay. Vermilion not spelled incorrectly, it's correctly spelled. As the hue pierces my eyes, I'm hit with a wave of nausea. I guess I have trouble with anything that reminds me of blood. The reality is, I've grown weak to it. "7 years ago, I was on the verge of death. I was caught in a terrible accident. A building collapsed. My wounds were so severe that most people thought I didn't have a chance. Lucky for me, all my injuries were focused in one place and my doctors were able to get to me fast. It almost feels like it happened to someone else. Thinking back like this, there's a lot I still don't know about it. Something struck my chest with such force that impaled me. I passed out immediately, like a machine that had its plug pulled. All I remember after that is the pain and the cold. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. The scar still remains on my chest. For what they told me, I not only hit my back hard, but a piece of glass pierced my chest as well. That's how I got the burn-like scars on my chest and back. When I was finally able to look at the wounds, I almost passed out from the sight of them. Ever since then, I've been prone to bouts of anemia. I've caused a lot of trouble for the people around me, collapsing suddenly all the time. I assume that's why Makihisa Tono, my father, decided that I wasn't healthy enough to be his heir.
胸の傷か。
I hold down the urge to vomit. I breathe deeply as I wait for my needling in my eyes to subside. A mark of death hidden under my school uniform. I've been able to see the lines ever since the accident. It's only thanks to the glasses Master gave me that I've kept some semblance of a normal life. Without them, I'm sure I would have gone mad a long time ago. Keiko was worried that the toners weren't normal when we said goodbye this morning. But there was no need. The reason being, I'm hardly normal myself. I push my glasses back to the bridge of my nose and grab my bag. I can't stay in this classroom forever. I wander around school. Honestly, I'm still not quite ready to go back. I don't really have anything to do, but maybe wandering around the school will help ease my nerves. Come to think of it, I made plans with someone this morning.
そうだった。電車の中で茶道部に顔を出すって話をしたんだっけ。
It must be fate that I remember that at this exact moment. I still got time before the school locks up. I might as well check out the tea ceremony room. The tea ceremony club's room is hidden at the end of the student club's annex. It took me about 10 minutes to find this place, far longer than I expected. It didn't help that nobody knew anything about the tea ceremony club. I ended up going to the faculty room myself and looking it up on the floor plan. Now here I am.
すみません。先輩、いますか？
I knock on the sliding door as I call out. A moment later.
おや、誰かと思えば遠野くん。
A face I knew all too well emerges.
もしかして遊びに来てくれたんですか？いえ、これは遊びに来てくれたと見ました。さ、そういうことなら中にどうぞ。ちょうど遠野くんと話したかったところです。
はあ。それじゃあ遠慮なくお邪魔します。
I'm a little taken aback by Seo's eagerness, but I did come here just to see her. I step into the tea ceremony room. The room is far more authentic than I thought it would be. It's actually a full-on Japanese style room.
驚いた。うちの学校にこんな教室があったなんて知らなかった。完全に趣味の部屋じゃないか。
私もそう思います。形式上は部活動のためということになってましたが、校長先生の趣味でしょうね。もっとも私が入るまでは使われていなかったようですが。
She walks onto the mats ahead of me with a clatter of porcelain. She begins preparing the tea.
先輩が来るまで使われていなかった。
そうなんです。もったいないことに茶道部は部員数ゼロの架空部活に甘んじていたのです。お菓子は心の安定剤。和菓子の良さを伝える道が廃れているなんて、街から笑顔が消えるようなもの。いえ、雨の日に捨てられた子犬を見捨てるようなものですので、先生方にお願いして茶道部を再開させていただいたんです。部員はまだ私一人なので5人揃うまでの仮運転ではありますけど。
そうなんだ。先輩好きなんだ、お菓子。
I'm pretty sure there's more to the tea ceremony than that, but that's not my business.
はい、本命は洋菓子ですが、丁寧に作られたお菓子に寄せはありませんから。ともあれ、茶道部の主将として地道に勧誘活動を続けているんです。そのおかげで放課後とか休み時間とかこんな風に自由に部室を使わせてもらっているんですよ。遠野くんも何かありましたらぜひ。私放課後は大抵ここにいますから。
そ そうなんですか。
It's as if she's using the club room as her own private space, like a secret hideout. Though I'm flattered by Seo's invitation, I wonder how this will help with the revival of the tea ceremony club.
けど遠野くんも物好きなんですね。確かにお誘いはしましたけど、あれだけでここまで足を運んでくれるなんて。もしや顔に似合わず肉食系ですか？
Hi Phoenix, yes, it has been a long time. So a long time for me because I had to put down streaming for a little bit because I had to sort out a lot of real life stuff. But you know, I always make sure that I come on for Tuesday streams for the Back Tuesday. So today I'm just doing the same thing here, and I'm trying my best to try my best as well. I'm kicking back up my gaming stream, and with this in hand also, and this is something that I really wanted to record for login purposes because this game is super important to me. So that's why I am like, and also get to test a couple things too as well, which also includes a co-stream too as well. So I'm also streaming this on my YouTube channel, and it looks like it's doing well. So I actually can do streams on the YouTube channel for CVGS when we do the the Newsday Tuesdays. So yeah. So yeah, with this being a success as well, so tomorrow is gonna be pretty epic. So yeah, all right. For me, I moved time zones 3 hours ahead, so than it was before. I see. Her teasing caused the back of my neck to grow hot. I wasn't trying to hit on her, I just figured I'd stop by, but as I formed my reply, I realized I'm making excuses.
いや、本当に特に理由はなかったんですけど。
But she does have a good point. I'm not usually the sort of person to take someone up on this kind of invitation. Come to think of it, why did I come here?
これは失礼。強くかけすぎちゃいましたか。
She murmurs to herself and claps her hands. I squint again against the red afternoon sun pouring through the windows. While I was busy admiring the room's decor, Ciel took some floor cushions out of the closet and laid them out on the tatami mats. It looks like we were going to have an actual tea ceremony.
あのさ先輩、俺こういう作法苦手なんですけど。
そこは問題なく、私だって流した手前ぐらいしか知りませんよ。遠野くんはどうぞ自由に楽にしてください。
On the table are a teapot and teacups, as well as some snacks to go with the tea. The snacks are nothing fancy, pre-packaged mini cakes and rice crackers that can be found in any convenience store. I guess this really is just a place to drink tea and chat.
気軽におしゃべりするだけなんですから、堅苦しいのはなしにしましょう。そういうのは楽しくありませんからね。正座とかしないで足を崩しちゃってもいいですよ。
She smiles softly as she pours 2 cups of tea.
はあ、真面目なんだかおおらかなんだかよくわからない人ですね、先輩は。
I take the cup of tea and bring it to my mouth. I had no part in it, but the Arimas ran a tea ceremony school. Growing up in their household, I've become quite accustomed to spending time drinking tea in a room like this. I drink slowly, savoring my time here as much as the tea. And then I notice it. Ciel is staring at me with an uneasy look on her face.
どうしたんですか、先輩。浮かない顔してますけど。
ああ、なんだか遠野くんの方が落ち着いてるなってちょっと驚いてました。
いや、うちはもともと厳しい家だったからこういうのに慣れているだけです。それより先輩、話がしたかったって何ですか？
はい、朝のお礼をまだしていなかったので、電車で迷惑をかけてしまったでしょ。だからそのお詫びとしてこうしてお世話をしてあげたいなって思ってたんです。
Ciel smiles, not seeming to realize what she just said.
お世話ってなんか日本語の使い方間違ってるよ、先輩。
あれ？そうですか？礼を尽くしておもてなしをすることをお世話をする。
言わない。間違いではないと思うけど、ちょっと正しくないというか。
そうでしたか。 ごめんなさい。にわか知識でおかしなことを言ってしまって。やっぱり心の伴わない作法はいけませんね。
Her shoulders slumped dejectedly. Now I feel bad for making her feel bad.
心伴っていましたよ。正直に言うと嬉しかったです。作法はまず心からとも言うし、もてなす側の気持ちが本物なら些細な間違いなんて笑い飛ばせる話だと思います。
I can't help but try to cheer her up. Sia looks at me right in the eyes. She's so focused on me that I feel like I'm some kind of rare specimen at the zoo.
先輩？
Maybe I'm just not used to it, but being stared at like this is incredibly awkward.
遠野くん、やっぱり似合いすぎてます。私より年下なのに落ち着いていて生意気です。
Sia glares at me. For the second time, I find myself confused about why she acts the way she does.
すみません。なんだか偉そうな言い分でしたね、今の。
はい、あんまりに生意気なんで不覚にも感動しちゃいました。年下の男の子にしてやられるのってなんだか気恥ずかしいですね。
Despite her words, Sia smiles bashfully. I mean, this means she's not angry, right?
私、がぜん遠野くんのことが知りたくなっちゃいました。何でもいいですから話してくれると嬉しいです。
いいですけど、俺の話なんかしてもつまらないですよ、先輩。
She replies with an interesting. She replies with a smile, letting me know that she doesn't mind. I guess I have no choice. I don't know if this will satisfy your curiosity, but maybe we can talk about things that have happened in school. I ended up talking for about an hour. It was fun, and Sia was attentive the whole time. Still, it's not something I'm used to. I suddenly feel very tired. Her favorite part seemed to be my story about the class trip in middle school. Apparently she didn't get one as she's caught the flu the day before and had to miss it.
中学2年生ということは14歳の頃の遠野くんですか。その頃の遠野くんも見てみたかったです。
Those words paired with that smile will make just about anybody turn red. I could keep talking to Sia forever, but the sun is beginning to set. As much as I want to stay, I eventually have to excuse myself and leave the tea ceremony room. My path home is different from the one I took yesterday. It leads me to a compact middle-class neighborhood, to one where large expensive houses line the street. Every step brings me closer to the Tono mansion. The area isn't completely unfamiliar to me. It may have been 7 years ago, but I have vague memories of this place from when I was 10. It's a strange feeling. This path feels both new and familiar at the same time. I climb up a long hill. The row of houses disappear from view. The smell of greenery tickles my nostrils. I may be in the middle of the city, but this place feels anything but modern. Almost everything from here on is owned by the Tono estate, the mansion I lived in until the age of 10. The only things left for me are old memories and relatives I never got along with. Though now, only one close relative remains in the mansion. Makihisa Tono, the father that hated me so much, passed away the other day. My mother died from an illness the year Akiha was born, so the only Tonos left would be my sister and I. As the eldest son, I would have taken over as head of the family, but I no longer have that right. Being the Tono heir means a restrictive and cloistered childhood. I don't know how many times I was told off by my father for trying to escape all that. That's why when I left defective after my accident, he took the opportunity to cast me out. I'm sure he felt that even though I was the eldest, he couldn't leave the family in the hands of someone who could keel over dead any moment. To my father's surprise, I recovered, but Akiha had already been chosen as the next heir of the Tono family. Akiha had been raised as the prized daughter of the Tono, but after my accident, she had to endure a harsher education befitting her new station. We played together in the gardens until I was 10, but I haven't seen her once since then. And now it's been 7 years. I wonder how the Tono Mansion has changed. I wouldn't have to wonder for much longer. If anything should come to mind now, it would be someone else I played with as a kid. There was actually quite a few people living in the mansion other than Makihisa and Akiha. The number of relatives occupied the main building. The servants, on the other hand, stayed in a separate one. They are vague, but I do have memories of playing with children other than just Akiha. I seem to recall. No, I can't quite remember. A lot of people came in and out of the mansion by then. According to Keiko, Makihisa was trying to aggressively expand the business at the time. She said it was so busy back then that it would be stranger if I did remember everyone.
そうだった。それより今は親父のことだ。
Memories of my father spring to mind. Though I don't recall us doing anything together. Makihisa was a strict father. He was quiet, rarely showing much emotion. Do not leave the house. Do not go into town. Always remember that people are born into their status, and those without our noble blood are of inferior stock. Such was the ethos of Makihisa and the Tono family at large. I rebelled against their principles. I felt my father's teachings were wrong. It wasn't from any fault in his logic, though. He just couldn't convince me that his beliefs were right. It seems strange, but they felt behind the times, even as a child. I wasn't the only one who disagreed with Makihisa, but I was the only one who did it to his face. As a result, I often left the manor in contempt of his rules, which ultimately led me to my accident. The world that lies beyond the manor is an unsightly place. It's a hemlock of the mind. How ironic. In the end, my father was right about that in a way. After waking up in the hospital, he never came to visit me, not even once. My last memory of him is the day I was discharged from the hospital, the day he commanded me to stay with the Arima family. And now he's gone. Not seeing my father before he died doesn't particularly bother me. That must speak volumes about our relationship. The main gate is shut tight. I remember thinking it was big when I was a child, but after living in a normal house, I realized just how massive this place is. The mansion sits on a high hill overlooking the city, giving the Tonos a view of all they control. The grounds alone are bigger than my high school. Include the forest behind the manor is easily triple the size. Surrounding the perimeter is a wall of trees and a long fence preventing outsiders from peering in. The entrance at the main gate is closed, turning away those who would seek entry. Next to the massive gate for cars to pass through, there's a smaller door for people. I hesitate for a moment before pressing the call button. It doesn't make any noise as I push it. After a few seconds, the lock opens with a welcoming click.
ここのドア全自動になったんだ。昔は守衛さんがいたんだけどな。
I open the heavy door and pass through the stone gate. The door gives a satisfying clunk behind me, locking itself again. I make my way along a gently sloped path deeper into the grounds. The walkway surrounded by tall trees almost feels like a tunnel. It stretches 40 meters east, then turns at a 90-degree angle to the north. Memories flood back with each step I take. I know this path. I've walked it many times. Just a little further, I reach the corner. My feet guide me towards the north, the rest of my body following closely behind. Then on the left. The Tono Mansion, its great white walls standing at attention. A sigh escapes my lips in combination of wonder and resignation. The mansion looks just like it did back then. According to my father, the building has been the same since my grandfather inherited it from his grandfather, though it was repaired once after the war. For the past few centuries, it's been a seat of power passed from one generation to the next. This is a holy ground for Makisa, no, for all those related to the Tonos. I remember seeing different adults vying for a piece of it, currying favor with the old man while staying at the mansion for the yearly family meeting. They were all extremely successful business people with their own fancy homes, but for whatever reason they were obsessed with the Tono manor. Getting to live there must have been a point of pride for them. It all sounds ridiculous. It's just a big fancy house to me. I've never been comfortable with being privileged.
さて
There's no going back now. A small doorbell is placed next to the comparatively huge double doors. I shake off my nuts and ring the doorbell. There is no familiar ding-dong. The heavy silence continues for a few seconds. The sound of hurried footsteps come from the other side of the door.
はい、お待ち申し上げておりました。
The doors swing open with surprising ease for their size. I narrow my eyes at the waning afternoon light streaming through the windows. I had meant to prepare myself for the sight, but my breath catches as I look over the gigantic lobby. What an astonishing, beautiful architect. Well, it feels like I've traveled to a different country in a different time. The look of the mansion is so old-fashioned, even the very air itself seems foreign. Even so, the lobby still feels familiar. I find myself frozen as the girl who answered the door stands before me, dressed in traditional attire.
よかった。あんまりにも遅いものですから、お迷いになられているのではと心配していたんですよ。日が落ちてもいらっしゃらないようでしたら、こちらからお迎えに向かうところでした。
Yeah, right. Forgot. Need to bring you down, Kwaku. Then I need to check in everybody else soon. The girl wearing an apron over a kimono smiles brightly.
あ、いや
I find myself speechless at this unexpected welcome. I was expecting the stony-faced man who served as my father's assistant and butler to be the one to greet me. The girl tilts her head, likely wondering the reason for my hesitance.
四季様ですよね。
はい。様っていうのはその余計だけど。
ですよね。もう脅かさないでください。私また間違えてしまったのかと怖くなってしまったじゃないですか。
The girl wags her finger like a mother admonishing her child. She seems genuinely upset with me for having worried her, yet even so her smile never fades, nor does the warmth emanating from her. An apron draped over a kimono, coming to greet me and calling me master. That must mean...
すみません。もしかしてここのお手伝いさんですか？
The girl answers my question with a smile.
さあ、お疲れでしょ。遠慮せずに上がってくださいな。明葉様がお手すきになるまで今でおくつろぎください。
The girl motions for me to follow her and begins walking. We move towards the hallway on the east side of the lobby, next to the giant staircase. I seem to remember that the parlor is just inside the hallway. I follow her quietly. I'll be good and follow along. I may have vague memories of the mansion from 7 years ago, but I was just a child then. They're probably not all that reliable. I take a deep breath and step into my family home. Old family home. And...
いけません。私たら順番を間違えてました。
She twirls around and gives a polite bow. Perhaps she senses how nervous I am.
お帰りなさい、四季様。どうぞ今日からよろしくお願いします。
Her greeting is accompanied by a radiant smile. I tail her timidly, unable to respond in any any adequate way. The girl leads me to the parlor. The parlor looks so much fancier compared to what I remember. It's like seeing it for the first time. Either I'm just too used to how things were with the Arima family, or they made this room even more extravagant since I was last here. Regardless, this place feels like someone else's home. I look around the parlor restlessly.
借りてきた猫ちゃんみたいですね。お気持ちはわかりますが、どうぞ楽にしてくださいまし。ここは四季様の家なんですから。
そうですよね。
Flustered, I lower myself onto the sofa. It's pathetic how overwhelmed I've become from simply returning home. The kimono-clad girl makes her way over to a cart in the corner of the room and pours a cup of tea from it. She places the cup on a tray and carries it over to me.
どうぞ、そちですが。
Okay.
ありがとうございます。
I can't help but feel a sense of embarrassment, being waited on with such a warm smile. I think that's just who I am, rather than something that comes from living with a more modest family.
明葉様に声をおかけしてきますので、しばらくお待ちください。そうですね。おそらく10分ほどかかりますから、それまでお屋敷の中を見て回るのもよろしいかと。
いいんですか？勝手に歩き回って。
何をおっしゃいますやら。ここは四季様のお家です。勝手も何もございません。いえ、でも2階はちょっと行けませんね。明葉様がいらっしゃいますから。1階でしたらお好きにご観覧ください。四季様にとっては7年ぶりのお屋敷ですもの。懐かしくて胸が弾んでいますでしょ。
She smiles mischievously. The housekeeper gives a slight bow and leaves the room.
参ったな。
My muttering echoes sadly through the extravagant parlor. Do I stay here sitting nervously? Or do I take a look around the mansion? I think I'll stretch my legs. 10 minutes. 10 minutes, huh? Maybe I'll take a look around if I have that much time. I should have time to look around the east wing at the very
こ
least.
こにいても緊張するだけだしな。
I rise up from the couch. I think I remember the rec room had a billiards room and a dartboard in the west wing.
おや、戻る前に立ち寄ったのだが、先客がいたとはね。
Time to lower volume. A voice calls out the moment I stepped into the lobby. I turned to the giant staircase to find a strange man dressed head to toe in black.
こんにちは、四季君。塔の邸にようこそ。というのは間違いか。君の場合、おかえりというのが正しかった。
The man who, based on his voice, I assume is in his 30s, descends the stairs calmly. There's not a trace of color on him. His entire body is wrapped in black bandages. It looks like he stepped straight out of a mystery novel.
あなたは？
覚えていないのか？ああ、そうか。私だよ。佐伯ゴートだ。君が子供の頃に何度か顔を合わせたことはあったが、このなりではね、覚えていても一致はしないだろう。
Psyche? Was there a branch family with that name? More importantly, this man.
構わんよ。キーの視線には慣れている。私は事故で顔を焼いてしまってね。ずいぶん前からこうでもしないと出歩けない体になっている。日の光は特に厳しい。明葉にも煙たがられているが、こればかりは仕方のないことだ。彼女にも責任の一端はあることだしね。
Goto Psyche gives a self-deprecating laugh as he lifts his left hand up to shade his eyes. The glare from the skylight must be too bright for him.
しかしまあ、よくも帰ってこられたものだ。君のことだよ、四季君。 牧久の言いつけを破って屋敷を抜け出した結果、くだらない事故に巻き込まれて脱落した。脱落。そう、脱落だ。君はご両親からの投資を投げ捨て、自らの義務を放棄した脱落者だ。にもかかわらず、こうして屋敷に戻り、明葉の兄として振る舞おうとしている。そんな自分が恥ずかしいと思わないのかね。
Okay, are you not ashamed of him? I resist the urge to confront him. The contempt in Goto's eyes is obvious, but there's no reason to escalate things further. Besides, he isn't wrong.
おや、反論はないのかな。
ないですよ。義務を放棄したのは事実ですから。でも脱落者とか投資とか家族の話にそんな言葉を使うあなたこそ恥ずかしいとは思わないんですか？
家族の話だからこそ的確な言葉を選んだんだがね。養育は一族の将来への投資だ。市政の人間はともかく、選ばれた血筋、尊い家系において個人の自由は存在しない。自由？いや、自意識と言ってもいいな。それらは成人した後、一族を背負えるようになって初めて獲得できる権利のはずだ。君は遠野の子でありながらそれを理解していなかった。明葉とは似ても似つかぬ三流だ。まあ一度地に落ちていながら帰ってくる高顔さだけは一流と言えなくもないがね。そう、睨むな四季君。今のはただの客観論だよ。私個人の評価じゃない。誤解させてしまったようだが、私は君の帰還に反対はしていない。どちらかというと賛成派だし、そもそも遠野家現当主の決定でもある。よそ者である私にどうこう言えることでもないだろう。
An outsider? He isn't part of the branch family?
佐伯家は祖父の代から遠野家とは対等の付き合いをしている。現代風に言うとビジネスパートナーというやつだ。今日は商談に来ただけでね。長引いてしまったが、色よい返事をもらえて上機嫌で帰るところだったのさ。ああ、この陰気な姿でせっかくの帰郷に水を差すのも忍びない。今日はこの辺りで失礼するよ。
Damn. I do feel like I'm going through like a roller coaster of emotions. When I feel angry, like holy shit. Nice. The bandaged man, Goto Saiki, passes by me and walks towards the entrance, all while his lips curled in a sarcastic smile. I bite my lip thinking of the word Saiki used. Failure. He's right, the word describes my place in his house perfectly. Regardless, I should go back to the parlor and calm down. I'll walk around later. I don't want to ruin my first meeting with Akia in 7 years by feeling like this.
失礼いたします。
The girl returns with exactly 10 minutes later.
四季様、何かお気に障ることでもありました？
She must have been able to tell that Goto Saki's works have affected.
いえ、何でもないんです。ちょっと気をされているだけで。お茶ありがとうございました。美味しかったです。
お上手ですね。こちらこそお褒めいただきありがとうございます。
She smiles bashfully, brightening the room.
と、それより本題ですね。お待たせいたしました。明葉様のご用事がお済みになりましたので、執務室においでください。
We ascend the large staircase and a lobby to the second floor. Akiha's office, the heart of the Todo family. I was never allowed to enter Makihisa's office when I was a child. A room occupied by each generation's family head. And that room now belongs to my sister. In stark contrast to the bright white of the parlor, the office is colored a dark red. Luxurious curtains line the windows. A deep crimson carpet, immaculately kept, is placed on the floor. The refined air to the room is thick with a sense of history. This is where Makihisa Tono once presided as head of the family, and now is where Akiha will carry that burden forward.
四季様をお連れしました。ご苦労様。仕事に戻っていいわよ、琥珀。はい、それでは失礼いたしますね。
Apparently the housekeeper's name is Kohaku. Kohaku gives a slight bow before exiting the room. The only people left in the room are myself and two girls I don't recognize.
お久しぶりですね、兄さん。
A dark-haired girl casts a dignified gaze at me as she speaks. My head is blank. The gears in my brain have stopped turning. All I manage to do is nod and agree. I'm pathetic, but I suppose it may be understandable. She looks so different from how I remembered her.
兄さん、何かこの部屋に不審な点でも？
The black-haired girl narrows her eyes as if she was measuring up a stranger.
あ、いや。
Nothing coherent escapes my lips as my mind struggles to catch up. I'm still trying to figure out if she's really my sister or not, even though she's clearly already accepted who I am.
話には聞いていましたが、本当に体調が不安定なんですね。時間は無駄にしますが、私からの話の前にお休みになられますか？
She frowns. Her words seem to have more bite to them than I expected.
いや、体調はそう悪くない。アキハがあんまりにも変わってたんで、びっくりしたというか。
7年も経てば変わります。ただでさえ私たちは成長期だったんですから。それともいつまでも以前のままだと思っていたんですか、兄さんは。
いや、それは。
I stammer, crushed under the weight of her quiet ferocity. I feel bad after all this time. It hadn't even occurred to me to think about how Hakia may have changed. I only thought of her as the little girl who used to follow me around. The last 7 years haven't only been hard on me. I'm an idiot for it to only sink in now that she's right here in front of me.
面目ない。正直考えが足りなかった。でもそれにしたってアキハは変わったよ。昔より格段に美人になった。
Clear words finally filter their way out.
ありがとうございます。兄さんは以前とあまり変わってはいませんね。
Akia speaks coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I had expected something like this. She must resent me for leaving the family. A silence falls over us as we take a second to study one another. I was unable to say anything worthwhile to a sister I hadn't seen in 7 years. Akia stares at me with a guarded expression, inspecting me as if I was some intruder, though to her I very well may be.
まあいいでしょう。体調が良いのなら話を済ませましょう。今回の移転について詳しい事情は聞いていますか？
いや、詳しい事情は何も。いいから屋敷に帰ってこいって話だけだ。親父が亡くなったことは新聞で知ったけど。
It's not all surprising the death of someone presiding over a massive conglomerate would make the business section of most papers. We live in a world where a son, disowned by his family, learns of his own father's death on the internet. The news reached out to me after his funeral had already happened, like I was a complete stranger.
申し訳ありません。お父様のことを兄さんに知らせなかったのはこちらの失策でした。
Akiha lowers her head quietly. Her hair is beautiful, but that's not important right now. My wording was the problem here.
そこは気にしなくていいんじゃないかな。俺が言ったって死人が生き返るわけでもないんだ。逆に親戚筋に合わなくて助かった。
I can't imagine they would be kind to me.
そうですか。そう言っていただけると私も少しは気が楽になります。
I'm lucky to have such an understanding sister. A funeral is an occasion that offers closure to those unable to accept the passing of a loved one. My relationship with my father ended a long time ago. I have no obligation or desire to attend something like that for Makihisa. I hadn't once thought about how I'd say goodbye to him.
でもそうなると誰が俺を呼び戻したんだ？親父の遺言ってわけでもないんだろ。
兄さんをこちらに呼び戻したのは私の決定です。いつまでも遠野の長男が有馬の家に預けられているのはおかしいでしょ。どんな欠陥があろうとあなたは遠野の人間なのですから。
I accept the word defect without a second thought. My father used it often. It doesn't bother me anymore, and if anything, she's right.
お父様、遠野牧久が亡くなった以上、遠野の血筋は私と兄さんだけです。血は守られなければいけません。お父様がどのような考えで兄さんを有馬の家に預けたかは知りませんが、そのお父様もすでに他界なさった身。理由が定かではない以上、当の指揮をこちらで監督するのは家族として当然のことでしょ。
Yeah, now give me a second. Akiha's. Oh. Right. Akia's words are quiet but firm, as if she was shutting down any possible objections I could have before I even raised them.
監督するか。じゃあもし遠野の家に帰ることを拒否してたらどうなっていたんだ？
そんな自由はあなたにはありません。有馬の人間にも本家からの決定を拒む権利はありません。私も兄さんも遠野家に育てられたものです。少なくとも成人し社会的に自立するまではあなたは遠野家に隷属する義務があります。
My Geza used to say the same thing. Parents are responsible for raising their children and preparing them for society. Just like any good business, a family can't be sending defective products to market. It will only serve to harm their good name and degrade society as a whole. An individual unwilling to remove such a product has no right to be a parent. And a child unable to bear the responsibilities given unto them has no place in the family. Marquesa Tono spoke of this many times to Akia and I, almost like it was more to him than us.
親父の口癖だったな。じゃあ俺を呼び戻した理由は単に。
She cuts me off without any consideration for a poor brother disowned by his narrow-minded father.
どのような経緯であれ、あなたが遠野家の長男だからです。それ以外に理由があるとでも。
Just another day of cleaning up loose ends for the head of the Tono family.
理解していただけて何よりです。言うまでもありませんが、私の発言は遠野家当主のものとして受け取ってください。戸籍上ではあなたは私の兄ですが、この家における上下関係はまた別のものです。兄さん、私はあなたを兄として尊重しますが、同時にこの家を預かる者としてあなたを遠野家の財産として扱います。7年前のことは忘れて、私たちは当主とその家人であることを肝に銘じてくださいますよう。
Akia speaks without emotion. This is a command from the head of the house rather than my sibling. It carries an air of cold detachment. But
それはそれでわかりやすい。はっきり言ってくれた方が俺もすっきりする。
this is the natural way of things. There's no reason for me to be offended.
私の言葉を理解していますか？私は兄さんより上の立場でそれを承諾しろと一方的に宣言したつもりですけど。
分かってるし文句はないよ。だってどう考えてもこの扱いになるだろう、今の俺は。むしろ7年間好き放題に生きてきた俺に妹としてきちんと礼を取ってくれる明葉に感謝してる。けど明葉の考えは別にして親戚の連中がよく納得したな。俺を有馬の家に預けろって言い出したの確か親戚の人たちじゃなかったっけ？
そうですね。ですが今の当主は私です。親戚の方たちの進言は全て却下しました。この件に関して意見を挟むということは私にひいては遠野に逆らうことだと明言しましたから。
I'm stunned. Even Makihisa wasn't able to ignore her relatives, but Akia was able to persuade them? No. If anything, she probably argued them into submission. I see. Akia has grown in more ways than one, and as a brother, it's a little terrifying.
兄さん、ぼーっとしたお顔をされていますが、何か？
ああ、いや、感心したというか感動したというか、本当に当主として認められたんだな。
当たり前です。そうでもなければ兄さんを呼び戻せないでしょう。話を戻します。兄さんには今日からここで暮らしていただきますが、ここにはここの規律があります。今までのような無作法は避けていただきますから、そのつもりで。
おそりゃ無理だよアキハ。今さら俺がお行儀いい人間に戻れるわけないし、戻ろうって気もない。
いえ、 何があろうと戻っていただきます。
I think that's okay. I didn't finish the line, but okay.
子供じゃあるまいし、試す前から泣き言は結構です。それとも私にできたことが兄さんにはできないとおっしゃるのですか？
Akia shoots a frigid glare in my direction. It pierces through me like an icicle. There's no doubt about it. 7 years worth of resentment is finally being blasted my way now.
わかった。できるだけ努力はしてみる。
努力はするですか。都合のいい返答ですね。努力をすれば誰であれ報われるとでも。私が求めているのは結果だけですので、そのつもりで。
I'm unable to form any kind of response in the face of a ruthless assault.
いいです。兄さんは今まで自由気ままに暮らしていたんですから、すぐに生活を正せとは言いません。最短で1週間、最長で1ヶ月の猶予を差し上げますので、どうぞ死ぬ気で努力してください。
I don't think I'll be getting any more time after that. This must be how Akiha makes compromises.
ですね、そこまで無茶な話ではありませんから。現在、屋敷には兄さんと私しか住んでいません。うるさ型の親戚筋がいては、兄さんも落ち着けないでしょうし、私も煩わしいので、人払いは済ませました。
Wait a second. Had them leave, then...
お前、屋敷に居候してる親戚全員追い出したのか？
ええ、どうぞお気になさらず。家と財産を失いながら何の努力もせず、お父様の温情にすがっていただけの方々です。遅かれ使用人たちも大部分に暇を出しましたが、私と兄さん付きのものは残しましたので問題はありません。
いや、問題ないってありすぎるだろ。そんな勝手をしまくったら次の親戚会議でやり玉にあげられるぞ。
もうつべこべ言わないでください。兄さんだって屋敷の中に人があふれ返っているより、私たちしかいない方が気持ちは楽でしょ。
She's definitely right about that.
いや、でもだな、本当にそれでいいのか？親父だって親戚の意見には逆らわなかったのに、そんな暴君みたいなわがままを通しちまって。
そうですね。だからお父様は兄さんを有馬の家に預けたんです。けれど私、子供の頃からあの人たちが大嫌いでしたから、これ以上どうでもいい彼らの小言を聞くのはごめんです。
ごめんですって、秋葉。
ああ、もういいから、私なんかの心配は結構です。そんなことより兄さんはこれからのご自分の生活を案じてください。いろいろ大変なことになるって目に見えているんだから。
Akia says this curtly, forcing the conversation in another direction.
状況はご理解いただけたとは思いますが、兄さんはまだ有馬での暮らしが抜けきれていない様子。ま、それもいいでしょう。そのための使用人です。この先わからないことがあったらこの子に言いつけて。翡翠。
Akia, without turning, calls the girl waiting at the back of the room. The girl named Hisui takes a step forward and gives a bow. Wow. Only when they speak for the first time do I have to go and lower them. Okay, Ken. Understood. It's a polite though emotionless vow, like servitude made manifest.
この子は翡翠、うちの使用人です。これから兄さん付きの次女にしますが、よろしいですね。
So she's another of the housekeepers. Wait, what?
次女ってつまりその。
わかりやすく言うと召使いということです。
I don't believe it. Both Akia and the girl look like nothing out of the ordinary has been said.
ちょっと待ってくれ。召使いとか大げさすぎないか。自分のことぐらい自分で面倒を見れるっていうか。
食事の支度や洗濯もですか。
Akia's sure on point.
ともかくこの屋敷に戻ってきた以上、私の指示には従ってもらいます。有馬の家ではどう暮らしていたかは知りませんが、これからの兄さんは遠野家で暮らす遠野家の長男なんです。相応の待遇は義務として受け入れてください。
My gaze wanders over the girl clad in maid attire. He sees shows little emotion on her face. She looks like a doll as she returns my gaze.
それじゃあ翡翠、兄さんを部屋に案内してあげて。この人は右も左もわからない子猫と変わらないようですから、この広い屋敷でいきなり迷子にならないようにね。
かしこまりました、秋葉様。
There we go. Hisui bows to Akiha and walks towards me quietly. She sure looks towards me, but her gaze is fixed in a way that ensures our eyes don't meet. Her steps are measured, but far from slow. I can tell she's done this for a long time.
あ、それと兄さん、長男といえどこの屋敷では禁止された事柄、立ち入ってはいけない場所があります。それを犯したりすることのないように。翡翠には兄さんのお守りも命じてありますから、翡翠の進言にはできる限り耳を傾けてください。
それお守りじゃなくて監視役って言わないか。
兄さんが規則正しい生活をしてくだされば、翡翠もそんな役割から解放されます。それではまた夕食の席で。
Akia wants to be busy if she can't spend any more time than this.
お部屋にご案内いたします、四季様。
Izzy moves towards the door, paying my obvious confusion no mind. I sigh as I leave the office. We make our way back to the second floor lobby. The lobby splits the Todo mansion into two wings. It's like a giant bird in flight, extending its wings far in both directions. Each wing is roughly the size of a small hospital. I vaguely recall the building is symmetrical with the same number of rooms on both sides.
四季様のお部屋はこちらです。
Instead of descending the stairs, his feet continues along the walkway overlooking the lobby towards the west wing. I guess that means my room is on the second floor of the west wing. The sun has already set outside. Blue carpets line the hall, extending in either direction. The uniform white walls bring a castle to mind. The maid walks down the hall, lit by warm orange lights.
なんかおとぎの国みたいだ。
No filter between brain and mouth here.
四季様、何かご質問でも？
いや、ただの独り言だから気にしないでくれ。
Hisui gives a slight bow before glancing at me and continues walking again. I don't know what to say. And that's not the first time since returning to the mansion. Floors made with expensive teak wood. A ceiling that must be at least 3 meters high. I think I can see a sunroom further down the hall. The room Hisui shows me isn't where you expect a high schooler to live.
俺の部屋ってここ。
ご不満がおありのようでしたら違うお部屋をご用意させていただきますが。
いや、不満なんてあるわけないけど、その
It's way too fancy for me.
四季様。
いいんだ、なんでもない。喜んでこの部屋を使わせてもらうよ。
はい。お部屋は7年前から手を加えていませんので不自由はないと思います。
Does that mean
ちょっといいかな。ここ7年前は俺の部屋だったとか。
そう伺っておりますが、違うのですか？
Hisui tilts her head slightly. I feel a little better. So she isn't completely devoid of emotion.
まあ言われてみれば確かに少しは覚えがあるし、きっとそうだったんだろう。
This doesn't feel like my room at all, but I guess that's what happens when you've been gone for 7 years.
けどやっぱり落ち着かないな。今朝まで4畳半の部屋で暮らしてたからさ、高級ホテルに泊まりに来たみたいだ。
お気持ちはわかりますが、どうかお慣れください。四季様は今日から遠野家のご長男なのですから。
まあそうだね。せめて外見ぐらいは笑われないように頑張ってみるよ。
I set my bag on the desk and stretch. I'm still a bit overwhelmed by everything, but I don't have much choice other than to just get used to it. At the very least, I need to be comfortable enough to relax in my own space.
それと、昨夜のうちに届いたお荷物はすべて運び込みましたが、問題はありませんか？
いや別にないけど。あ、なんか持ち込んじゃいけないものでもあったとか？
いえ、お荷物が少なすぎるようですから。必要なものがあればご用意いたしますので、どうかお聞かせください。
そっか。いや、とりあえず足りないものはないよ。もともと荷物は少ないんだ。自分の荷物って言ったら、そのカバンとこのメガネと
Anything's in my bag and my textbooks and a white ribbon I've kept for a long time.
ともかく荷物のことは気にしないでいい。こんな立派な部屋だけで十分だ。
かしこまりました。では1時間後にお呼びに参ります。
1時間後ってもしかして夕食？
はい。それまでどうぞおくつろぎください。
Hisui says devoid of emotion as seems to be a usual. But now my problem is how to kill an hour. It's just past 6. If it were yesterday, I would just play with my phone or watch some TV in the living room. But I can't see the mansion having a place for people to get together and wind down.
翡翠、つまらないことを聞くけどさ、この屋敷にテレビとか通信回線とかあるの？
テレビと通信回線ですか
？Hisui narrows her eyes ever so slightly. Even asking the question gives me a headache. Asking about modern luxuries in a decadent old-fashioned mansion like this seems wrong.
今にはありません。西館には娯楽室がありますが、こちらは鍵がかけられています。先日まで逗留なされていた皆様は私物を持ち込まれていましたが、出立される時に荷物はお持ち帰りいただきましたので、残ってはいないと思います。
秋葉が追い出した親戚筋か。逗留って誰がどのくらいしてたんだ？
久我峰様のご長男とそのご家族の皆様が1階に士官の3部屋を、東崎様のご三女とその婚約者の方が2階に士官の角部屋を、木島様のご長男が1階東館の1部屋を、皆様3年ほどお過ごしになられました。あとは確か先代である牧久様の主治医様が屋敷に逗留されていたと聞いています。
3年もか。なあ翡翠、そういうのって逗留って言うんじゃなくて居候って言うんじゃないか？
Hisui doesn't answer. Her position as a housemate must prevent her from voicing her personal opinions about the guests. Regardless if they're all taken their belongings with them, I can't expect to find anything I can use. Marquesa hated any kind of modern convenience, so I can't imagine he would have allowed them access to the internet or TV. Akia must have taken after our father.
ないからって別に死ぬわけでもないか。
If nothing else, I still have my phone. I take it out of my pocket and check the time. It's silly to think I'm actually worried I might not get service here. It may not be much, but I'm relieved to have at least some way of connecting to the internet. I expected to be stuck without one, considering how out of this world this place is. Meanwhile, Hisui is silent. I don't know if it's just her trying to be professional, but Hisui doesn't speak unless it's necessary or she's asked something. Not being used to having a personal attendant, it's a little unnerving. I had to try and make her smile somehow, but it's not going to be easy.
確か1階の西館の方に書庫があったっけ。暇な時はそこから何か見繕うことにするよ。
Hisui doesn't respond. She's looking in my direction, but her eyes are fixed on the empty space next to me, rather like a cat.
翡翠
Hisui says nothing, until she suddenly returns to her gaze to me.
姉さんの部屋にならあると思います。
は
I blurt out without meaning to. Could she mean...
ですからテレビです。以前姉さんの部屋で見かけた記憶がありますから。
Hisui says like she's recalling a memory from long ago.
よかった。ここでもそれぐらいはあるんだ。ってちょっと待って。姉さんってもしかして琥珀さんのこと？
はい。現在このお屋敷で働かせていただいているものは私と姉さんの二人きりです。
Now that I think about it, they do look a lot alike. Hisui is so different from her cheery sister, I didn't even consider that they might be related.
そっか。あの人なら確かにバラエティ番組を見てそうなキャラクターだ。
I stopped short of asking to use it, as if it too embarrassed to go to her room.
ごめん。この話はなかったことにしてくれ。これからここで暮らすんだから、屋敷のルールには従わなくっちゃいけないしね。
I don't think Akia would ever let me live it down if I spent my first night back lounging in front of a TV. I'll act the perfect little student. Someone worthy of the Tono name.
夕食まで部屋にいるから、時間になったら呼びに来てくれ。翡翠だって他にやることはあるだろ。
Hisui nods affirmatively and puts a hand on the doorknob. The door opens with a faint squeak. Hisui leaves the room after a small bow. I dine with Akiha. Both Kohaku and Hisui are completely devoted to serving the two of us. Servants aren't allowed to dine at the same table as their masters. It goes without saying, but having grown up with the Arimas, this setup makes me feel uncomfortable. I've always completely forgotten about table manners. Humans have evolved the ability to remove useless pieces of information from their minds, which means any memories I had of table etiquette are long gone. Every moment I make elicits a raised eyebrow from Akiha. It's nerve-wracking, but it does spice up our mealtime. To be honest, the idea that I'll be doing this every day from now on is disheartening. Dinner ends in silence. I was so desperate to remember my table manners, I wasn't even really able to come up with any small talk. Akiha seems displeased the entire time. Hisui and Kohaku have just finished taking away our plates when the reckoning comes.
やはり徹底的な再教育が必要なようですね。
Why are you super loud? But then again, whatever. She says plainly. The cold, cruel comment reverberates around the dining room.
誰にどのような。
兄さんにふさわしい心構えをです。
I knew it. So that's what she was thinking about while raising her eyebrows at me.
その具体的には。
まずは生活習慣の改善。夜間の外出は当然禁止です。門限は8時とします。どのような理由であれ、外出の時は私か琥珀、翡翠の許可を取るように。
は
An 8 p.m. curfew? How old does she think I am? More importantly, I need permission just to leave?
待て待て、それは。
休日の学習スケジュールはこちらで立てておきます。報告によると兄さんの成績は中の中だそうですね。まったく相変わらず効率よく手を抜くのだけは得意なようで。
とんでもない。俺はいつだって全力だ。
ですがこの屋敷にいる間は本気を出していただきますから、そのつもりで。兄さんはやればできる人なんですから、お体のことを考慮しても学年3位以内は当然でしょ。
My sister is painfully overestimating me. And it's scary how much she knows about my grades.
他の習い事はもう少し落ち着いてからにしましょうか。それでは兄さん、本題のあれを出してください。
はい。
What does she mean by it?
あれといえばあれです。あるでしょう、兄さんのズボンにも若者の象徴のような汚らわしいあれが。それを隠さずに出しなさいと言っているのです。
いや、ますますわからない。これが上流階級のすることか。一般市民を何だと思ってるんだお前は。
ですから携帯端末を出してください。兄さんだって持っているんでしょ。
なるほど。
I take out my phone from my back pocket. As soon as I place it on the table, Hisui wordlessly takes the phone and gives it to Akiha.
これは没収します。当家ではこの手の電子機器は禁止です。健全な学生には不要なものですから。電話ならロビーの備え付けのものを使うように。調べ物がしたいのでしたら図書室をどうぞ。
Akiha cuts our one-sided conversation short and leaves the dining room. I find myself stunned into silence for the nth time today. I was never super attached to my phone. I mostly used it for texting and to check the news when I had some free time, though like most people I consider it a basic necessity. It's another reminder of how strict the Tono household really is. I mean, banning phones in this day and age. I return to my room now that dinner is finished. It's just past 9:30. I spent about 2 hours in the dining room in the end.
お帰りなさいませ、四季様。ご指示はありませんでしたが、就寝の支度をさせていただきました。
Izzy greets me as soon as I enter my bedroom. I see my bed waiting for me, neatly made. She was a step ahead of me, it seems.
うん、ありがとう。
寝巻きはそちらのものをお使いください。着ていらしたお洋服はそちらのカゴに入れ、廊下に出しておいてくだされば助かります。
A wicker basket is placed at the foot of the bed. I assume if I put my dirty clothes in there and place it in the hallway, then Izzy will clean them for me. This is starting to feel even more like some upscale hotel.
何かご質問はございますか？
Izzy stands there as still as a statue. I have plenty of questions, but it dawned on me that I know very little about Hisui and Father.
あまり関係ない話なんだけど、いいかい？
はい、何でしょう？
翡翠と琥珀さんがここでどんな仕事をしてるのか知りたいんだけど、どうかな？
私が四季様付きで、姉の琥珀は秋葉お嬢様のお世話をさせていただいております。お二人が留守の間は屋敷の管理を任されていますが、それが何か？
お世話ってやっぱりそういうことか。
My shoulders feel heavy. Akiha explained everything like he went without saying. I was just a normal high school student. I don't have much interest in being waited on hand and foot by a girl my own age.
四季様付きってことは俺専用の使用人ってこと？
はい、何なりと申し付けてください。
Hisui bows deeply. My chest tightens when we killed.
わかった。 秋葉のあの言いぶりじゃ俺を一人にはしないだろうし、そもそも俺の気持ちの問題で君を解雇させるのは良くはないと思う。ありがたくお世話になるけど。
何か特別なご要望でもあるのですか？
そんな大それたことじゃなくて、その四季様っていうのはちょっと。俺はそんな柄じゃないし、正直に白状すると分不相応すぎて首根っこをつかまれた気分になる。
ですが四季様は私の主人です。
そうは言うけど、俺は今日まで普通に生きてきた身なんだ。帰ってきただけなのに同い年ぐらいの子に様付けで呼ばれる生活とかちょっと難しい。俺のことは遠野さんとか四季さんでいいよ。堅苦しいのはなしにしたいんだ。こっちも君を翡翠さんって呼ぶからさ。
Hisui, though otherwise expressionless, lowers her eyebrows and bites her lip. Man, I wanted to make things easier for her, but it looks like it may have had the opposite effect.
ですが、あなたは私の雇い主ですから。
俺が雇ってるわけじゃないだろ。
失礼ながら、それは同じことです、四季様。私どもは遠野家に仕える者。ご当主様もご親族の方も、共に尊ぶべき主であることに変わりはありません。ですので、どうか私のことは翡翠とだけお呼びください。お仕えする方に継承で呼ばれる使用人の心境を察していただければ幸いです。
Hard to argue against that. The answer really does fit that of a manservant.
俺にできないことをやってくれるんだからありがたがるのはこっちなんだけど。
Arguing will only serve to trouble her further. I'll refrain from voicing my opinions on the matter for now.
呼び方翡翠でいいんだね。
はい。なんと。
Oops. The please has a bit of a punch to it.
わかった。じゃあそのように。でも俺に対してあんまり堅苦しいのはなしにしてほしい。お姉さんの琥珀さんにもそう伝えてくれるとありがたい。
はい。四季様がそうおっしゃるのなら。
Hisui lowers her head gracefully. Alright, looks like we've got a long ways to go until we can talk casually. Hisui leaves the room after bowing. The moment I'm alone, a wave of exhaustion crashes over me. A lot happened today. My body is crying out for some much needed rest. I turn out the lights and lie on the bed. I can tell I sleep like a rock. I try to fight against the sleep creeping in. I'm somehow able to keep my eyes open, but it's a losing battle. No matter how hard I fight, I fall deeper. It's just how the human body is built. I stare at the ceiling, still in the space between consciousness and sleep. Back after 7 years, seeing family again, it still feels like someone else's house.
でも帰ってきたんだろう、お前は。
I'll say, trying to accept everything. My consciousness slips away as I sank into a deep slumber. A mansion on a high hill, far away from the bustling of the town, like an island surrounded by a sea of trees. I come to the conclusion the instant my eyes close, it's like a prison. I awake suddenly. No one woke me. Nobody woke me, nor did I hear a sound. It just happened, seemingly for no reason. I wonder how long it's been since I woke up in the middle of the night. I get up feeling like I've forgotten something. A shiver and unease creeps over me as I exit my room. I start down the hallway in search of a glass of water to slick my thirst. The long moonlit hallway lies before me. The night is totally silent. This all feels so familiar. I must have done exactly this when I was younger. I find myself wandering to the staircase aimlessly, yet not. There, a hidden section of the mansion. The stairs connect not only to the first and second floors, but also to an attic by way of secret passage. It seems even the people living here have not forgotten this place. The room once used for storage shows no trace of anyone having used it in years. Despite being midway through October, it's unseasonably cold tonight. I rummage through the door, hoping to find a blanket. An old cabinet catches my eye. I open each drawer. I find some odds and ends, but little of note. There's nothing worthwhile in the drawers. Even the giant chest I open only has a few scattered stones inside. A badge, a few trinkets, a pair of binoculars, all things a child might collect. Among them, a single thing stands out, different from everything else. Stained bandages, sealed in a clear plastic case. They're rolled up neatly, but so old they could never be used. There's nothing here. I shut the drawer and start back to my room. Upon exiting the room, I realize my cheeks are wet. I wonder, could I have used this place when I was a child? Do you want to save your progress? Wow. It has been a while. Yes, we'll save our progress. Don't know what the current route is, so. Day 2, a day that was on. Okay, I think that save that we made is actually a good spot to stop off from. There's all the other scenes as well that we could have gotten also, because we could have asked about the name and blah and whatnot. So, but so far I've more or less kind of followed a linear path here. Yep. Homecoming, and then we go for deep slumber. I do like that. So, okay, so this is probably a good spot for me to stop here. Good to see the test actually working very, very well, obviously. And also it's good to see it's also good to see. Well, it's good to be back on stream also, because I've been wanting to do like you know, I've always been wanting to get back onto stream, to get back to playing games as well. Like I can't do it on the weekends anymore because I do D&D on the weekends. But for the most part, excuse me, weekdays while I'm still here, you know, I just come on to stream also, while in the midst of me just looking for work and whatnot also. So endeavors are put forward from there, and of course I can use a bit of my free time also to really do some assets also, because I do want to upgrade this channel for the most part. And yeah, this actually makes a good stop-off point for me to actually record this. This is actually the first part. There's going to be more parts of this. I'm going to go through the whole entire main route of this also, because again, this has emotional attachment for me for many reasons. This is the game that really has, I think for 15 years really, has projected me into this direction, where my fondness for one character so has just influenced the way that I look at romance, has influenced the way that I look at women, influenced the way that I look at you know, my point of view, so to speak. And this game also has beautiful music too as well, and it will make me well up because it just makes me feel stuff. So I look down at myself as well, but camera's up here, so I'm not used to my camera being up here for the most part. I'm always used to looking down on the screen, and you know, the screen is bigger than what it used to be. It's now a PC build instead of a laptop build right now, so you know, lots of things have changed and everything. So just some things that I'll probably end up having to get used to. So, but yeah, that will be it for me right now. There'll be more of this, and I'm aiming to do like streams on. I'm aiming to do more streams of this. Not say every day, but you know, Wednesdays, yes, probably. Thursdays, Friday, and I'm aiming them for like lunchtime. So it's like at 12 o'clock. At like 12 o'clock plus, I'm like on it. So if not, it'd be like 3. And I'm just gonna give this the minimum of like 3 hours. So I haven't reached the point yet, but with this actually being a good stop off point, so like finishing the first chapter, it's a good place to stop off. So I'll just stop off here. So then future streams from there. Dual stream will be on, so you can expect the regular Tuesday to also have dual streams on. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot more wider coverage also, now that I finally put things to the test. Right, so that's it from me right now. So thank you very so much for joining me for this stream. There will be more of this, and we'll see whether I can squeeze in a different type of game here and there. So but I do need to get my controller fixed first, so it's drifting to the side. So right, that's it for me. Thank you very so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh wait, hang on, I want to do this first. I need to hear this. Oh, nice. There's also a music player. A little loud. Movie ending lists. There are 3 endings. Oh well, we'll see them soon enough. But yeah, this is actually like beautifully done. So this is definitely beautifully done. Very nice. I definitely will be visiting this a lot very, very soon. For the most part. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you very so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.